What's up?
Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, yo, yo. What's up, Alberto? We're both unmuted now. Yes, so hopefully everybody's hearing us. Even I momentarily forgot that I was still on mute. I can't seem to ever get that right, but okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. It's going. People at the usual slowly trickling in. So that's good. We'll give them some time. Do the usual hellos to everybody. Let me quickly start off with a few promos, everybody. For those of you who are already here, might as well just do this right away. First of all, actually, let me just say a quick shout out because I sometimes forget. To the newest subs, Derek Cabin. I'm assuming it's Cabin and not Caven, but please correct me if I'm wrong, Derek, if you're here. And a couple of anonymous guys. I can't see your names because your privacy settings don't allow me. But welcome. Thank you for subscribing. And I hope you find something to enjoy on the channel. First promo of the evening, everybody. Wanted to let everyone know that our friend Karen has finally put out another video. And a lot of fun, a great unboxing. Hey, speak of the devil, there she is, just appeared. Here we go, look at that. What's up, Karen? And here is the direct link to that unboxing, everyone. So if you haven't seen that yet, it's a lot of fun. Some really great art by a great artist. And for those of you who are still into collecting comic books as well, as she always does, she integrates the original art with comics, or if she's unboxing comic books, she integrates it with the original art. So there's something for comic people and art people. So check that out, please. What's up, Alex Garcia? What is up? You ruined the surprise. Why do you guys always ruin the surprise? Can't you see I purposely avoid mentioning it so that it's a surprise for everybody who hasn't seen it yet? Rickster. What happened to you, Rickster? I thought I could always count on you. You're welcome, Karen. You're welcome. And there we go. Look at that. Evening, Scotty. What's up? Good to see you. And okay, I'll be back to say hi to everyone else in a second. Let me just a bit late for that, Rick, but that's okay.
Yeah, I'm leaving. There's spoilers. There's no point in me being here anymore.
You're gold in my book still, Rick. Don't worry about it. Well, yeah, number one Marvel fan, Thomas himself. Yes, I mean, yeah, but let's not be hasty. Yeah, some people have busy lives and they may not have seen it yet, so that's okay. But yes, let me also mention today's a pretty. This week has been a pretty busy week, and for those of us with the tiny channels. And so let me get another promo here in. Carl, who is not with us as far as I know at the moment. Carl has put out a video, again, another interesting one. And again, as always, I'm not going to say anything about it, so surprise yourselves. And this is the direct link to that video. So please check that out. And what else? Oh, a couple more. Actually, so a couple of days ago, I don't know if it was 24 hours ago-ish, or was it 48 hours ago? I can't quite remember, but Lee Parmenter put out another video, and he's sticking to his theme of putting out sort of educational content. And because Lee has a background in printing, he chose to do a video, 10 minutes long, very easily viewed, describing all the different manners in which comic books were colored pre the computer age. So there wasn't just one, and very, very interesting. I'm sure that most people here will learn something from that. Like I said, only 10 minutes to learn something very interesting. So great video, Lee. I don't know if you're here, but great video. And yeah, man, I hope a lot of people go over to watch that. And to see that one, everyone, here we go. Here is Lee's direct link. There we go. Hopefully that should work and take you directly to that new video. And yeah, check it out. It's like I said, it's very, very educational and very interesting. And oh, look at that, Derek. Hey, what's up, Derek? It was a really good video. Yeah, exactly. He's already seen it. Very good. Really, really, really interesting. Even if you think you know how comics are colored, or were colored pre-internet, I'm sure you'll learn something because there was more than one way that they did the colors. Look at that, Nikki B. What's up? What's up, Nikki B? Look at that. Thought he wasn't going to show up, and he still shows up. What else we got? So we have Lee. We got Carl. Okay, well, why don't we do Nikki B, given that Nikki just popped in. Okay, so everybody, I want you to pay attention very carefully here. This coming Friday, and you should watch his show this Friday and every Friday, of course, at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific. But this coming Friday, I don't know exactly what Nikki B is going to be doing, but I can tell you that it's going to be centered around this. Nikki B's birthday blowout. Now, I didn't make that thumbnail, everyone. That was given to me by Jay, the producer of Nikki B's show. So, again, I don't know what's going to be happening. I don't know if all those people are going to be showing up with Nikki. I don't know if Nikki's going to show up looking that young. I don't know. I don't know anything. But for those of you who aren't already subscribed, and if you're not, please feel free to do so. But I will give you this direct link to that episode this coming Friday, 5 days from now. And should be fun. I look forward to seeing what all of that is about. All right. Okay. So
hopefully he's giving out free art to everybody that watches for his birthday.
Free art. I heard Jay told me that would be one of the requisites. Apparently, show up to Nikki B's show this Friday because he's giving art to anybody who shows up live in the live stream. So one free piece of original art per live stream attendee. And after that, who knows what else he'll do. He may do more giveaways, So nice. We'll see. We'll see. Tune in and find out. And let me jump in now and say hello to everybody. You guys are way ahead of me, of course. Comic Art Boston, I know you're not here right now, but thank you so much, as always, for your kindness. It's very, very gentlemanly of you, as always. Really appreciate you. And who knows, maybe we'll see you pop in a little bit later towards the end of the show. And who else? We got Mr. Red Jack. I don't know if you're here. Is he here? But welcome, Alberto, of course. And as always, thank you for the welcomes, the warm welcomes to everybody. Brian, I appreciate that. And of course, #1 Marvel fan, always here. Marcus, as usual, always here. You may see some cap art tonight, Marcus. I thought like nobody gives a crap about that character. I know he's kind of like D or like Z-list or whatever. But I thought, whatever. Maybe we'll show some cap art. Maybe we'll see. We'll hang in there and we'll find out. Alberto is going to wear a hat tonight. I don't know if he's going to wear a hat. Why? I don't even know why you're asking, to be honest. But he says no and no red pants. There's your answer. Excellent. Hyger, what's up, Hyger? Hyger with the excellent piece of art added this week. Not his grail, not his holy grail, but one of the more important pieces in his collection. The original art to the first comic book he ever got. So you guys should all check that out in Hyder's Cap Gallery. And exactly, Alberto does not know what I picked, so it's all on me. If you like it, you give me credit. If you hate it, you can shit on me as usual, as you always like to do anyways. So there we go. Jason Ladwig, what's up, sir? Good to see you as always. The cap art, Alberto. Hey, Jason. All right. Okay. Let me try to skip over any hellos between you guys. No Perez shirt, apparently. Welcome to the gun show. Yeah. You that's why you know what's funny is Alberto, he hates taking pictures. Listen, even I hate taking friggin' pictures every week for the shows, okay? I don't like it, right? He also doesn't like it. He always waits forever to give me a picture when he's going to be on the show. And to my surprise, though, this time, when he finally did send me some, he sent me like, I don't know, was it 6? 6 or 8 of them or something. I was like, whoa, what happened here? And it's him posing in various, different arm movements and facial expressions. I was like, wow, I got a good selection here. And I chose the one with the guns, baby. So, yeah, that was a good one. I thought it was a lot of fun. It shows his playful side. So, glad you like the gun show, CJ. And, yeah, thank you, Alberto, for giving me all that selection to choose from.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things. I think, like, I don't know about anybody else, but when I look at my pictures on my phone, it's all pictures of my son or of my now fiance. Okay. Everybody heard now that I'm recently engaged and she's watching, so but anyway, so it's whenever I try to look for pictures of myself, it's like I just don't have any because I just take pictures of everybody else. But
yeah,
I managed somehow.
Yeah. But thank you, Nikki B, for rallying the likes as always. Yes, please hit the like if you're watching right now. Please, it doesn't take anything to just do this on that little thumb up, the thumbs up icon right below here somewhere. I'd appreciate it. Thank you. No need to subscribe. You need to subscribe. Just hit the friggin' thumbs up. It doesn't give me any money. It doesn't really do much, to be honest, but it just looks better. Whatever. It might help the YouTube algorithm to put the video in front of a few extra people. That's all. That's basically what it is. I'd appreciate it. So thank you again, Nick. But by the way, can I ask? I know she's watching, so can I just ask, Alberto, is your fiance also a Spaniard by any chance?
No, she's not. She's a Californian through and through.
Born and bred.
Yes.
Okay. Very nice. Very nice.
There's not a lot of them in California. It seems like California's people from everywhere else. It seems like that ends up in California, but
yeah,
she's from here.
Okay, excellent. Do it for Alberto and yeah. I don't know. Honestly, Nick, I say do it for yourselves because I guess what people don't really get is that if you love your hobby, you should want it to constantly be healthy and do whatever you can, whatever small part you can for your own hobby to make it healthier and make it grow a little bit. That's really what it's about. So yeah, if you guys want to know who don't know, clicking thumbs up on shows that YouTube channels that you like to watch here and there, it helps a little bit in that sense. So think of it that way, as just you're doing your small part to grow your hobby that you love. And we got here from Las Vegas. Greetings, chatters, out to dinner. So we'll be catching the rewind. Happy Cinco de Mando. Jeff, as always, appreciate you. Have a great dinner. I'm assuming you're out with your better half, so enjoy it. Evening and any 11-cent auctions. Boy, you guys are really want those 11-cent auctions. I'm not gonna have them, so no. I who knows if I ever will, but I don't typically have them. Hello, Gabe. Good to see you, my friend. Corey Rust, what's up? The tallest man in collecting. I don't know what that means, but it must be a joke from another channel that I don't understand. We'll go with it. What's up? What's up, CJ? Steven. See, even he doesn't know what the hell you're talking about. So, okay, I don't feel so bad that it's not an inside joke. Okay. Hello. That shield look off-centered. It does all of a sudden look all centered. What's up with that? Thank you.
So the shield in the middle.
It's the whole, it's the whole larger image. It's not just a shield, and that's the thing. There you go. And he says, yeah, the tallest. Wow, okay. He doesn't get you, but somehow you're sticking with it, Corey. Okay. No worries. Who else we got in here? We said hello to Scotty, the Rickster, Tom Katalowski. What's up? Good evening to you, Chicago in the house. And you love how #1 Marvel fan has Cap Comics on his avatar. Yeah, you like that. And not only him. Look at the Rickster. Look at that.
Cap's cool.
Hey, man, Cap in the house. Okay, this one I know because you guys told me a few weeks ago that was an inside joke from another channel. Not sure why you always keep repeating it here though. Like it does, I don't know. It doesn't seem to make sense for me, but Okay. That's my Cap #1 comic, CGC 8.0. Ah, that's your copy. I see. Okay. Let me see what you're doing. And only 25. I'm bringing down my channel. You're not. You're not. It takes a little while. It's up to 34. It keeps going. It keeps going. Quickie from Chicago. Before I gotta go, hey, thank you, Tom. I appreciate it. Tom, everyone. See, Tom's one of these guys, like several of you, who feel it necessary to email me privately just to let me know when you can't make it, which honestly is like the most awesome thing ever. I tell everybody all the time, why the hell would you feel the need to tell me that? If you can't make it, you just don't show up, and I'll see you next time, whatever. But it means a lot to me that you would think that you would need to tell me, but you don't need to. All right. And that goes for everybody. But I appreciate it. So thank you so much. And I appreciate you taking the time to come in even for just a few minutes, Tom. And okay, here we go with more jokes. Panel is over. Hello. What's up, Larry? Good to see you. Okay, birthday craziness. Yeah, that's about the promo I did. What up? I think this came up when I did the promo, so I'm going to go with that. Is that the Edge at the top? And I guess you mean Edge from U2, which I didn't get a good look at, so I'll have to take a look at that later. And unless he has a friend whose nickname is Edge. Very diverse. What else we got? More Edge and Hurricane. Yeah, I don't know. These are you got some friends with some interesting nicknames, I guess. Apparently, Nick. Best-selling show on the internet. You're looking for $57 pieces. They ain't gonna happen here tonight, anyways. I mean, unless Alberto wants to sell his for $57, which I highly doubt. Continue more subscribers. Oh, and I just want to clarify. Nick is clarifying, everybody, for those of you watching on Rewind. What I said earlier was a pile of bullshit. No, he's not going to be giving a free piece of art to everybody who attends live. I mean, I would think people would, know not to take me seriously by now. But just in case, no, that's not going to happen. But as he says here, if he gets 30 more subscribers, then he will give 5 pieces of art away this Friday as a celebratory thing for his birthday. So, I guess it'll be a celebratory, hey, we got whatever, we got to the next 1,000th subscriber, in combination with the fact that, it's a celebration for his birthday. So there you go, Maki Poo Poo. Hello, sir. Good to see you as always. Peer pressure. You know me, and Nick, don't make grumpy. Exactly. Yeah. Give one to everybody. Let's go back to that and let's give one to everybody. Why not? Don't be stingy, And you see that there you go. Even he's good. I'm not alone. He's also giving you the pressure. That's good. We can spread the fault now. And I want a diverse cast of Cap. Hey, you might get that tonight, anyways. Let's see what else. Who else? Nikki B. Everybody. I'm not going to post everybody's happy birthday wishes. Hey, twice. Hey, Ruben. Woo! I think you meant to say, hey, Ruben. Hey, Alberto. But that's cool. Tariq, what's up? Lovely to see you, sir. You win any Hembecks today, Alberto? I got outbid on the Hellcat. Was that you? And I'm sure he's already responded to you. No, America's ass photo. I don't even know what that means. Alberto has a new photographer. I don't know what that means, but that's probably related to the other show. Happy birthday. Alberto is legendary. He's the legendary Spaniard. Can I just say, since most people don't bother to read descriptions, this is a first on my channel. 2 Spaniards, not one, but 2 Spaniards in the house, in the studio. But technically, of course, I feel kind of bad because, I only count for kind of a Spaniard because he was literally born in Spain and I was born in Canada. Only my parents were born in Spain.
No, we'll let you take credit for it.
You'll take credit for it?
We'll let you take credit for it.
You'll let me take credit for that? Okay. Even my own extended family, all of whom live in Spain, don't consider me Spanish, so that's how sad it is, So Alberto won't show any new art. Well, no, I guess it's not new. He's just going to talk about the stuff that he's already got. But it'll probably, some of the stuff will probably be new to you because, most people, we don't have the time. It's hard enough to keep up with everybody's daily postings, right? Every day on Cap. Most people don't go backwards and spend time. Hey, let me spend, 2 hours in this guy's Cap and look at the stuff he posted, 8 years ago or 15 years ago or whatever. So for a lot of people, some of the stuff will seem brand new. So there we go. All right, I'm catching up. I'm almost there, everybody. Thank you for the patience. There's a new sniper in town, says Alberto. By the way, I don't know the origin story. How did a Spaniard become such a Cap fan? Go ahead and tell them while I keep looking at the comments, Alberto, unless you've already written and answered him.
I have not. I think more than anything, yeah, I just like reading comics growing up. I always liked Marvel. I always liked the Avengers, and I always, for some reason, just ended up drawn towards Cap as the leader and the boss, I guess. And yeah, it just seemed like a cool hero to be an example, and always had good morals and good ideals, and everybody respects him and all that stuff. So it seems like a good hero to collect. And when it came to collecting art, you cannot collect everything, so might as well pick this on.
It's funny because I was just gonna give. I was thinking you might just give the sort of easier response and say, well, I was born and raised in Spain. Then I traveled across the Atlantic to come to school here in the United States. I've been here ever since. So I've actually been in America for longer than I was in my home country. So I decided I just, I got into comics. I figured I might as well be a fan of the character that represents my adopted country.
Nah, I like comics way before I came to the US. So I figured that. Love started before that.
Yeah, but were you already a big Cap fan, even in Spain?
I was mostly an Avengers and Cap fan and everything around Avengers. I never was as big fan of the X-Men or any other Marvel property, so I just always leaned in that world.
Okay, fair enough. Wow, Southern Comic Geek, Jason Richardson, howdy from Austria. You're still there. Wow, I've been seeing all those pictures you've been posting in Austria. Let us know why. What was the primary reason for your trip to Austria? I'm curious about that. I've been meaning to ask you. That's pretty cool. I never watched Endgame. I think I did, but that just goes to show how much I enjoy Marvel movies. That I don't even remember if I've watched them or not. I remember watching the one where he snaps his finger and then all the Avengers just start dissolving and whatever you call that. That was a cool effect. I don't remember if I watched the one after that. And that was, I guess that's the latest one. I don't remember. I did watch a movie where at the end, Cap and Falcon, something's happening with Cap and Falcon at the end of the movie. I don't know. Is that the Cap and Falcon movie or is that the Avengers movie? Shit, I don't know. But
your MCU movies, man.
What can I tell you? I'm just not a big fan of them. I don't know. They're too long for me. I lose interest quickly. But let me tell you guys, I was chatting with Marcus last night, and the many topics, but one of the topics was X-Men 97, right? The brand new animated series. And so I didn't tell Marcus, but after we chatted, I did watch the first episode of X-Men 97. I'm not going to say anything right now. I don't want to give even a hint of what I think about it away. I want to watch more, and then I'll give you guys all what I think about it, okay? And yeah, we'll leave it at that. I thank you. It is cool to be a Canuck. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I will say, and I don't think it's a spoiler because it was in the preview images, Captain America does show up in X-Men 97.
Cool.
The latest episode. It might have been the one from last week. But yes, he makes an appearance.
Oh, that's really neat. Okay, thank you, Jason. I appreciate it. A company convention, free vacation. Awesome. Very cool, man. Stop, Ruben. They're good. I didn't say they're bad. I just don't, whatever. I don't love them. They're okay. Whatever, man. I'm not saying they're bad. I just can't get into these like 3 hour. I don't like, look, I like 90-minute movies, like 1980 style. And then I start losing patience. I don't care if it's good. I start losing patience big time very quickly. So as you guys know, they're all very long. So that's already a big X for me. So what can I tell you? I'm not saying they're bad.
Watch them over 2 days. Split them up. Watch an hour and a half today and an hour and a half tomorrow.
Nah, that's even that just makes it like even worse. No, it doesn't help. Believe me. Trust me. I've not only thought of it, I've tried it. It doesn't help. Doesn't help. What do we got here? Brian Adams, Celine Dion. You guys are naming off Canadians now. Okay. The streaming critic. Hey Kenneth, what's up, my friend? Good to see you. I'm more into Anne Murray. In the 70s, as a little kid, I listened to a lot of Anne Murray, I must say, but not since then. Not since then. A little bit into the 80s, and then that was pretty much it, I must say. Okay, movie restlessness. Indeed, my friend, indeed. Okay, so let me just check one final time. I don't want to make sure, just don't want to forget anybody that I wanted to give any kind of a video promo to or anything like that. Let me just take one final look to make sure I said hello to my new subscribers. I shouted out Karen's new video. I believe, did I do Carl? Yes. Carl's new video, Lee's new video, and Nikki B's show this coming Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific. Birthday bash extravaganza. Everybody check it out.
And what are you doing Sunday, Ruben? Because I know it's going to be Mother's Day here in the U.S. So what's your plan?
Yeah. So that has never stopped me from doing anything. The problem,
New Year's Eve didn't stop you from doing anything either.
That's it, right? Christmas Eve, Christmas Day at night. The last 2 years, I've done them all. So it doesn't stop me. So I'll still go live. But to answer your question, unfortunately, I have no clue right now. I have no guests lined up. I have nothing lined up. So whatever it's gonna be, I don't know. It might be a last minute kind of thing. Yeah, I don't know. No matter how many times I shout out for people to like say, hey, don't be shy. If you're shy, don't think your collection is unworthy just because you see all these other people that you think they have cooler collections than you or whatever, just because their stuff's more valuable, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter how many times I shout out, but none of those people ever reach out, so to say, okay, yeah, let's do a show and tell or whatever, So I still got to keep doing all the legwork myself, whatever. It's very time consuming and whatever. So we're 1 week away. I've got nobody or nothing planned for next week. That's all I can say. So we'll see what happens. I guess you guys will find out later in the week, eventually, when I finally schedule something, and it may be a last minute. I show up. It may be one of those I show up and Jason Ladwig is with me. Like he always is, my emergency partner, just to hang out and shoot the breeze. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, the promos are done, everybody. So thank you very much. Very much appreciate that. Last couple of comments. Let's see. Ruben, the getting in and out quickly. You're very creative, I must say, CJ. Are we going to be seeing the stuff on Alberto's wall in the background? I don't think. I'm trying to get a good look. Maybe one of them. If that's the one I'm thinking of.
All you're talking about, because the collection grows.
Yeah. Okay. Cat Live, Mother's Day. Yeah, so it will be Mother's Day. I mean, listen, my wife is a mother, so we'll do whatever Mother's Day thing. Typically, we might have maybe we go out for a meal, maybe we have some cake or whatever. I don't know. So we would still be home by the time that we air my show anyway. So I'll be here and she'll be in the chat, no doubt, as usual, supporting me in the show. So do a Renegade Calf live show. I don't know what that means. What would that mean? What would that entail?
I think is Calf Live, the virtual con. So you can.
That's next. That's also next week.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But what would that entail? What would I do at night on a Sunday night that has to do with the Cap Con. Like I don't know what I would do about that, you know. And you said we could spend all day talking about the stuff on my wall. Yes, very true. Well, my mom passed away a few years ago. Sorry to hear that. I still watch Dueling Dealers. And he laughs about it too. That's funny. Hey, listen, you know, everybody's got their thing, whatever. Yeah, man. We are not worthy. We are not worthy. Ruben is great. So do the show and tell. No fear, just fun. The fantastic collection he does, and that doesn't include the stuff we know. Shows the magic closet. Anyways, thank you, Jesus. I appreciate it. Oh, look at that. Who's this? Captain America comic book fans. I have the best Captain America OA collection, second only to Alberto. Who is that? Do you know him?
That's Rick Verbanas. I don't know if you've.
I know him. I know him from from Facebook.
Yeah, he has a podcast for Captain America. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. There you go. Okay. Of course, he has to come in and he has to come in and give himself a little pat on the back there. You know, it's like a backhanded pat, right? Like it's like he's trying to compliment you while complimenting himself. You know, nice, Rick. Crap on overpriced art. Oh no! I'm not going to do that because it's not my website. So then I'd be the one he'd be like shitting on afterwards. What are you doing? He's using his channel to shit on my website. Whatever. Fuck that. No, thank you. Even Rick made it. Did I miss Alberto talking about why he's so drawn to Captain America as a character? He just loves comics in general, but you did miss it, I guess. You'll have to rewind. We're not going to redo that. Mark, good to see you, though, by the way. Oh, man, I did some kind of copy and paste mistake. Okay, I'm very, very sorry, Alberto. I will get that fixed. I'm very, very sorry. I will get that fixed right after the show.
I didn't even pay attention, but I guess you copied and pasted from Hart's probably show last week or a couple of weeks ago.
Probably, yeah. And then it's, you know, what's funny is that then what I typically do is I have the other window open with CAF so that I go to your gallery and I copy paste that. And I did go there. So I don't know how I didn't end up doing the copy paste, but I do explicitly remember being on your gallery. So I even remember, I seem to remember doing the click, right, to highlight the URL. For some reason it did, or maybe I even tried pasting and it somehow didn't paste. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm afraid when you start showing my art, maybe you'll be showing somebody else's art instead.
No, it'll definitely be your art. that I can guarantee that it's your art we'll be seeing tonight. That's a guarantee for sure. So, yes, there you go. Get Rick on the show next week. Get Rick on the Imagine. Can you imagine? Yeah, I don't want to do two sort of Capish related shows back to back. But Rick, if you want, pop a comment in the chat. Let me know if you would like at some point down the road to do a show and tell with me. Let me know. I'd be happy to have you on. And what else we got here?
I will give kudos to whoever likes to collect the official handbook of the Marvel Universe images. Rick just scored the Captain America one drawn by Mike Zeck.
Oh, that's a classic one.
Collection. So that's a cool one next to the Zemo that he has and the Red Skull that he has already. So he's definitely not a bad Captain America collector.
There you go. And look at that. Jace, check it out. I'll put it back up. Jason literally went back and told him the exact second he has to go to check it out and listen to it. So that's awesome. Thank you, Jason. Yeah, we get such great people here all the time. That's so awesome. Because he has a great taste. He chose Cap. Great choice. So yeah, Battle of the Cap OA collectors. So I haven't heard a response from Rick. So I guess he just came in quickly and took off, I guess. But okay. If I remember, I'll try to reach out to him and ask him. Oh, there he is. There he is. Okay. I tease Alberto for being my Newman, as he often beats me. Fantastic cap art. No one will ever be able to touch his cap. Okay. So, Rick, I don't know if you took off and came back or whatever, but let me know with a comment in the chat if you're interested at some point. I'd like to do a show and tell with you for your collection, your cap collection. Not in the next few weeks, of course, since it's kind of a little bit close to Alberto's, but let me know if you're interested. And yeah, so curious to see Alberto's Grail. What's up, Shaggy? I don't know what you mean by that. Did you say that you have your Grail tonight or something? Or I don't know. What's he talking about, Alberto? What's he with?
I'm not sure. Maybe hopefully that we'll talk about my Grail as well.
Oh, maybe because he just maybe because we're just doing show and tell. He assumes that I'm going to show your absolute top favorite piece of all. I don't even know what it is, to be honest. We've never talked and about
I have no idea what Ruben has picked today, so it's going to be a surprise, and hopefully will be suitable for all audiences, whatever he's picked.
There you go. Exactly. Margaret, my lovely young friend, how are you? I'm sure you don't need to know that it's just been one of those weeks, and don't worry, your email is still on my mind, and I will be getting back to you very shortly. Okay. Sorry.
Now you've got Canadians in the chat.
So I apologize, but thank you for the patience. I'll get back to you very soon. Excellent. Sounds good. I appreciate it, Rick. I will reach out about that. And do what? Ruben picked all DC. You're gonna piss everybody off. Look at that. One of those weeks for you too. Awesome. Well, not awesome, obviously. But taking a grueling field geology course. There you go. It's grueling, so good. So I don't feel so bad, but I still do feel bad. There you go. There's Lee Parmenter. Hey, Lee, just to let you know, shouted you out, told everybody about your awesome video on coloring comics in the pre-internet age, and it was a great video. Derek Crabb was here earlier mentioning that he loved the video. He said it was a great video also. So I hope a lot of people end up going to watch it. It was really good. So thought I would also tell you, even though I already left you a comment on it already on the video, but figured I'd tell you face to face, or face to typewritten comments. Yeah, there you go. And look at this guy with his Elvis lyrics. And hi to Alberto too, says Margaret, of course. Pet Shop Boys. Look at you, Pet Shop Boys. That's Elvis, and then later Pet Shop Boys.
Yeah.
For you, it's Pet Shop Boys. You're so young, Alberto. You're so young. You're welcome, Lee. You're welcome. And okay, so that's it, everybody. Thanks all of you for the patience as always. We'd love to chat and say hello to everybody. Really good crowd tonight. Everybody's looking forward to seeing Alberto in his collection, hearing him talk about it. So looking forward to that too. Sure, Willie Nelson too. Actually, that's a pretty good one. I think that's one of those songs that's been covered probably like hundreds of times, to be honest. You know, it's a classic. It's an awesome song. So you got to kind of expect that. Why don't we get into this? Alberto, you ready? Or
I'm ready for whatever you've got in store. So let's see what you come up with.
Okay. Well, tell me though, real quick before we get into it. Do you want to give just because we haven't done it officially on my channel yet? Do you want to maybe give everybody, for those who haven't already heard in the past, a quick rundown of how you kind of discovered original art and got into it and started collecting and then focused the collection on Cap? Maybe, just a couple of minutes.
Sure. I feel most people probably know me by now because we've got a lot of regulars. But I like comics since I was a little kid in Spain, but I never really thought about comic art until I want to say it was probably around 2000, 2001, where I lived in Florida at the time, and my comic shop there had Ethan Van Sciver on attending and doing some signing and selling some art when he was doing Green Lantern Rebirth. So actually my first original published page of art was actually a DC page, which might come as a shock to everybody. I picked up from Ethan back then when before.
Was that the Rebirth page?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, that's so cool. We're gonna see it tonight, everybody. So you all will see what he's talking about. Yeah,
Yeah, that's before the whole comics gate and the whole drama that he started and all the unraveling. But he seemed like a pretty nice guy at the time, and yeah, I picked that up on that day, and that was my first original published page. Who would have thought? So yeah, and then from there, I just started getting into it more. I attended a couple of cons, and like most people, started with sketches for the most part, and then graduated into panel pages, and lately more covers. So it's been, I think, a usual progression that you see in a lot of collectors in many ways. But yes.
Yeah. How long did your fascination with getting commissions last? Because I mean, I know you still get commissioned work sometimes, but I know years ago you did more commission stuff.
Yeah, back when I started, there was not as many websites, or it wasn't as easy to find. I mean, yes, you had the collector's choice because that page's been around for 40 years and it hasn't changed a bit in 40 years. But outside of Spencer and
CAF, we all talk about CAF. CAF has been 20 years, and that hasn't changed either. And that's only half a step more modern than Spencer's page. So let's be honest here, okay? But whatever.
And I know he was starting then too. He did have his website pretty early on as well. But yeah, I would just reach out to artists as I got their emails and got commissions from them, and that's how I started until published art started becoming a little more accessible on the web and easier to contact people. And now when you mention that I still get commissions, I don't actually commission artists.
No, but I meant you're still willing to buy already made sort of illustrations, you know?
I will, for two main reasons. Number one, for when there's a show where the artists are attending and it's something that the money goes directly to the artist, I always like to contribute. 4C has a lot of shows where Sergio Aragonés or Stan Sakai will be doing sketches, and I'll just chip in because I know it's the artist directly on the shows. Yeah. But then outside of that, it will be artists that are hard to get, like my Art Adams Captain America piece that I have. I just saw it. I believe it was on someone's CAF, or it might have been in the Dueling Dealer show, and I didn't have an Art Adams, so I was like, I'm not going to get a lot of chances to get an Art Adams drawing cap, so I'll jump at it. But I'm too paranoid and too impatient to ask artists for commissions these days and wait months for it.
Yeah, that's the same thing with me. For me, it's a lot more things than just the impatience, but yeah.
Well, and of course, people that don't follow through and having to deal with all that stuff, but yes.
All that. Okay, excellent. Thank you. What does James mean here about the show your tonal? You know?
It's my home gym that I showed a little bit there. James has one as well. Oh. It's like it's a.
Is it the brand name is called Tonal?
It's a cable machine for weightlifting.
Oh, and you can get home cable machines.
Yeah.
Interesting. But in that small box on your wall, that's got all the weight that you would need?
It uses magnetic force to simulate the weight. It's actually pretty cool technology. James has one, and I know he talked Adam Kubert into getting one. He has one too, and I know he's been trying to get other people to get it. But
really? Yeah. James, are you being serious? It's the only thing I work out on? Come on, dude. You go to the gym.
No, he doesn't. Believe it or not, those guns that he has are all from Tonal.
That's interesting. Can you show it to me one more time, Alberto, please? Let me just get okay. And how tall is like how tall would you say that is? Is that 4 feet or something?
I'm 5'4", so whatever.
Okay, so if we dropped it down, okay, a little bit shorter than you, I guess, maybe 5 feet or a bit less than 5 feet. Okay, interesting. And can I ask you, how much is one of those things run for everybody interested?
I had it for 3 years, so I'm not sure. I think it was like 3K, 4K.
Oh shit. Okay, so this
James
is like
was the official representative of Tonal, and I feel like he's the marketing rep. He can probably.
that's why so that's why he's trying to get everybody to buy one. He's getting a cut. He's getting a cut for it.
And no, there will not be a Tonal demonstration, Tariq, as much as you would like to, or anybody else. We'll leave that to James maybe.
James confirms that he does not go to the gym. But how long has it been, James, that you've only been using this machine at your house? How long has it been? Yeah, that's what I'm curious. Let us know. James gets a commission. You and your commission, as opposed to a cable commission. Nice, Ian. Do a Tonal demonstration. Exactly. I need to see how this thing works before I drop 3 or 4K on the damn thing, you know?
I will have to charge to do a demonstration live for you guys, and I don't think this is that kind of state.
What? 4,500 plus a subscription to what? You need to have a subscription for what?
They do have classes and programs and demonstrations.
Oh, okay. Oh my gosh. And look, he admits it. Nope, I get a cut.
There you go. Now you know what to do for your show next Sunday. Have James on, and he can do.
Yeah, I'll have James on. We'll just, it won't be comic art related. It'll just hey, everybody, look at this machine. It's called the Tonal. Buy it for your all your work.
Next Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern time.
Well, okay. So James is telling us, or telling me since I asked, my entire weight routine has been on Tonal. Haven't been to the gym in 5 to 6 years. Wow. That's interesting, man. I'm going to have to look this up. I'm assuming there must be a bunch of tons of people on YouTube who've done like videos on it, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's available in Canada, but yeah.
Yeah. No, but just to at least, just check out the technology, just see how it all works and stuff, I'd be interested just for that, come on next week for show and tell. Well, James has done it. It's just that James is shy. So James did it together with Rob, so they did it like 5, 6, 7 months ago or whatever. James always likes to do it with somebody else, but at least he was here. At least we did it.
Yeah.
And Rob's awesome and hilarious. So that's fine. It fits right under a bunk bed. Well, you don't need to fit it under the bunk bed because apparently you got to just hook it up to your wall.
Yeah, this one gets stuck to the wall because of the weight when you're pushing things or whatever. So you can't fit it or remove it.
Okay. And my entire gym routine is lifting kids. Exactly. We know that. If anybody has seen Ian's Facebook page, you know that for sure. It's nice to go to the gym sometimes for the view. Nice. I'm going to tell your wife you said that, Michael. I'm gonna tell on you. Who needs to talk about art? Yeah, exactly. James left out. He only eats salads and seaweed. I don't know. It was salads and seaweed alone. It's not going to get you jacked. I'll tell you that. As a guy who, mind you, I'm in my 50s, but still, as a guy who, who's been trying to put on weight, whatever. Yeah, it's really hard, even when you're eating lots of protein. So, yes, please, everybody, please, if you're watching right now, and I know you are, if you haven't already done so, we're about to get started with the show and tell. Can you just click that thumbs up icon that's right below here where I'm pointing somewhere? I would really appreciate that. That'd be nice. Let's see if we can get to at least 50 today. It'd be nice since there was 50 people at the peak, or a little over 50 at the peak. That'd be nice. So thank you to all of you who have already done so. I'd appreciate that. Okay, so I think we're ready to go. Last comment. Let's see some cap art. Start with a burn. What? Burn LR Zeck piece, please.
I'm guessing it's burn Zeck, but yeah. Huh? I'm guessing it's an or and not.
Oh, right. I gotta tell you, Tom. I'm pretty sure I did not pick Burn tonight, believe it or not. I'm pretty sure. Well, I guess we'll find out, but I'm pretty sure I didn't. I got to throw you guys some curveballs sometimes, you know? So, all right, Captain America comic book fans. You want to see some art? Let's get into the art. All right.
So, have some extra time. I'm happy to show my magic closet behind me. I have a couple pieces that are not on calf yet. But
we can do that after if you want. Yeah. Sure. Unless
let's see what has first.
Okay. All right. Let's do that, and then a bit later we can do the magic closet. Okay. All right, everybody. Here we go. We are starting the show and tell, and for the first piece tonight, you guessed it. Yes, of course. You know what you're going to see, being what this is and the time we are in right now. You guessed it. Star Wars.
Yes, my one Star Wars piece.
Wow.
And I picked this one up in one of the amateur dueling dealers, and I thought it was a beautiful page. I didn't know who Carlo Pagulayan really was at all, but I love the rendition of Luke and Darth Vader and the X-Wing and the TIE Fighter behind it, and I just jumped at it right away when I saw it. So I think, yes, appropriate for May the almost 4th. So yeah,
I mean, we're within 24 hours of that celebration yesterday, so it's good. I thought it'd be appropriate to start off with this piece, you know. And I've been a fan of Carlo Pagulayan since he broke in. So yeah, and when I saw this, I was like, oh my gosh! I mean, just so incredibly tightly rendered pencils. Yeah, just absolutely.
And yes, it's only pencils. It's all pencils. There's no ink in it, which is amazing.
It's all tight pencil. So yeah, that's really fantastic. Tom says, impressive, most impressive. I wonder where you got that from, Tom. Love the first one shown isn't a cap piece. Thank you, Margaret. I figured I'd throw you the curveball. Consider my expectations thoroughly subverted. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's what I was going for. And I
suspect, Ruben, that you picked more non-cap pieces in this list.
Say that again, Alberto.
I suspect that this will not be the only non-cap piece.
Oh. Why do you suspect me of that? Come on, man. Strong. You think it's got strong cap feels, do you? R2 seatbelt required, but yeah, absolutely, it's all pencil. I honestly, I thought everybody could tell. I mean, that's why you don't. That's why you see that the black isn't all solid looking black, you know, because it's pencil. So yeah, it's really awesome. Nice. Starting with Star Wars. Yes, Alberto was definitely diversifying beyond cap. Got the America Star Wars crossovers. I wouldn't say they're a crossover, but Jeff, I bet you'll love this one, buddy. Steve Rogers dressed up as Luke Skywalker. You guys just desperately wanted to be Cap for Alberto's sake, you know. I'm gonna pick half DC art tonight. No, I am not, everyone. I am not. But I did want to.
I would like to blame Nick for my recent diversion from Cap collecting. He's been the one at his shows tempting me with Spidey covers and all sorts of Dynamite covers and all sorts of random stuff that's not just Cap. So yeah, it's all Nick's fault.
It's all your fault, Nick. Very good. Okay, everybody. In all seriousness, for those of you commenting and asking, you will see some DC. Of course, you're going to see some DC tonight. Just for variety's sake, to be perfectly honest. But yes, you will see a lot of Captain America art. Even if I wanted to try not to, you can't. Not with this collection, you can't. You have no choice. It's going to be a lot of Cap.
I'm looking at my gallery and I have 6 DC covers and only 2 DC pages, so you cannot pick that much.
No. That's what no. And I knew that everybody would want not only Cap, but everybody would want Marvel. So believe me, I don't remember how much DC I picked. It may only be the 1 page. I don't remember. I honestly don't. But yeah, I tried to pick things that were like, okay, you got your selection of cap pieces, right, from the cap titles, but then pieces that may have cap in it, but not from cap title, whatever. So I'm trying, So anyways, there's a little bit of something for everybody, I guess. Let's just go with that. But okay, the next piece in the show and tell. Hold on, before I show that, let me see a couple of more comments. Caps enemy Black Skull. Oh, you mean Darth Vader, right? I blame for everything. Well, of course, it's your fault. Thundercats is not coming in. Nick invented diversion. I hope the Infinity Saga piece was picked. Damn beautiful piece in person. I don't even know what that is, so I probably didn't pick it. Nick invented shaming. Okay. Yeah, so for the second piece, everybody, it is Marvel, and it is I'm all about the fun. It's an artist who I've loved since the year I got into collecting and reading comics. And so I really wanted to show this as my first superhero piece. And look at that again. It's not technically a cap piece, even though he is on it.
Nice.
Nice, Alberto. I know you would like that.
I do. So this was the first show that Bill did with Fred Hembeck. The first time he had him on to do an interview and then an art sale for it. And this was the only published cover that he was selling at the time. I bought another one later on in his second show, which is the Defenders one that I have in there, the Howard the Duck. But I saw this one, and yeah, being able to get a published Fred Hembeck cover that just showed all the Avengers in there, I just thought it was iconic, and I was not going to let anybody get it from me.
It's really cool, and I it's funny because until I saw it in your gallery, I was not even aware. I had never seen this one as a variant, so I was just like, oh wow, that's cool. And when my eyes landed on it the very first second when you posted it, I was like, of course, thinking, oh, okay, it's a cool commission you got or whatever. And then as I looked, of course, more closely, I realized, oh shit, it's an actual cover. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that I missed a cover that he did like 6-7 years ago. I was like, wow. So it made me very happy to see that Marvel at one point had decided, with all the variants that we put out, the thousands and thousands we put out every year, it's nice that they went and got Fred to do something,
Yeah, me too. I love it when you see some artists that maybe haven't been doing work in a while that you see published when they do get to do variant covers. And yeah, I mean, everybody's still wondering who's behind the Black Widow's head between Black Panther and Mr. Simon Williams, but I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, I believe there is nobody there, which is why we don't even see a hint of a line, right? Like right beside her hair or her above her boob. I believe he realized, it's I don't have to put anybody, so I might as well not even put a line to indicate there was somebody there. So that's what I'm going with. But yeah, very, very nice. Everybody seems to love this. I think, Fred, he's beloved by everyone, I would say, and I'm with Rick. That's my favorite part. Oh yeah, the Hawkeye expression on his face. That's awesome.
And I know a lot of the folks here in the chat are buying a lot of sketch cards from him. He posts 5 sketch cards on eBay every day, and he's definitely becoming more and more popular. Hembeck, he has his own eBay
yeah, that's for sure. And of course, I like the juxtaposition of having the expression on Hawkeye, and then right beneath him, Cap's expression is awesome.
Yeah, you can see that the Beast and Ant-Man are all kind of looking at her anyway. Everybody's kind of looking up.
Yeah. Look at Hercules, that dog. Perfectly positioned.
Scarlet Witch seems to be looking lovingly at the Vision. It seems like, a lot of little details that you can see in there.
That's so funny. if she were in the background instead of the foreground, you know? Yeah, we know. Maybe it was Black Widow swinging out of that block. Maybe that's what he was intending. You never know. Arthur very kindly facilitates my Hembeck collection. Nice, of course. Funny on the published, they forgot to color her hair under her arm. What?
Yeah, I think over the.
Oh, right. Yeah. Interesting. Well, it does look pink, so it looks like the color was added, but that there was some kind of a screw up. You know, because it still has some level of color.
Yeah.
It's just right. It's just not the full red.
I think they picked the same background that was behind Hercules on the left there, thinking that it was. But yeah, there's definitely something missing in there.
Yeah. I'm going to go with it was a screw up. It looks kind of like a publisher screw up of some kind. But yeah, very, very nice. Lots of fun. Always loved Hembeck. I should have tried.
Now I have to get rid of my piece because there's a screw up. So well, I'll give it away if you want it.
The screw up is only on the printed version, not on yours. So you're safe, you know?
Yeah.
But I just wanted to say that back in 2000, you know, I got Fred to do me 2 commissions. And at the time, I really, really dreamt of owning the wraparound cover to the Fantastic Four Roast, for those of you who may remember that from 1982. I loved that comic, and I was too polite, like I've often done. Like I don't want to bother. See, we were chatting, and he kind of mentioned that, you know, I've never really sold my published art, you know, because I haven't done a lot of published covers and interior, you know, so I haven't really sold a lot. So as I typically would do, I felt like, yeah, okay, I'm not going to be that guy and start hassling. Hey, how about you sell me the Fantastic Four Roast cover, you know? So I just let it go. And now I kind of regret, like that would have been a keeper forever. Like I would love to have that thing, you know? And then a few years after that, you know, maybe only a couple of years after that, I think he started doing more commissions, like cover recreations. And I think I remember somebody getting a Fantastic Four Roast recreation done. And then it reminded me of, I should have got the original if I might have been able to if I would have pushed and offered some decent cash, you know? And in those days,
he doesn't seem to sell. Yeah, he still doesn't seem to like to sell a lot of his published arts. I mean, Bill has done 2 shows with him, and it's only been 2 covers and 1 or 2 panel pages that he's sold. The rest of it, he's keeping a lot for himself.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Margaret is saying that the pink is the backdrop of Hercules' box. Is it? Oh, okay. Margaret's right. Okay. No, the original, like I said, the original's fine. The non-pushy buyer. Exactly. But it has cost me. It has cost me by being too polite. Oh, well, what are you going to do? I just believe it's the same thing with like celebrities. I don't know. People get so excited. I've run into like a lot of my favorite athletes in my time, and I don't jump all over them and like ask them for autographs. I don't even talk to them. I just ignore them and whatever. Like it's, oh, look at that. Look, so and so's. You know, I say it in my head. You know, oh, look at that right in front of me. So and so. You know, Tony Gwynn is sitting on the subway with me. You know, like 2 feet from me. I'm okay. That's very cool. You know, whatever. But like, yeah, I just feel like leave them alone. Too many people hassle them all the time. You know. So for comic artists, I felt like it was kind of the same thing. I feel like, okay, if you already told me you don't really sell your stuff, I just feel like I shouldn't now try to convince you to sell me your stuff, you know?
Yeah.
You still have that FF Roast issue. Awesome. I have a copy of it. It's not the original copy I bought in '82, but I do have a copy of it. So I guess Colorist just mistook her hair for part of the Hercules backdrop. Okay. Vincent is the king of pushy. Who's Vincent? Vincent who? The Gwyn Shy guy. Okay. But
the last thing that I'll add, just so what I find interesting is that a lot of these published covers that Hembeck does, he actually draws them relatively small. They're like 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, even though a lot of his recreation has are 11 by 17, but this one and the Defenders cover that I have are on like an 8 by 11, 9 by 12 kind of piece of paper.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting. Interesting. So it's a smaller one. That's so interesting. Wow. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I guess when you don't really have to draw bigger, it could still be published.
Mm-hmm.
You know, why bother? I guess, you know. And he doesn't do it with the intent to sell it, so you know.
I mean, he's used to drawing in small pieces of paper. He can cram a lot of characters in his little sketch cards. So he's used to drawing.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. Okay, everybody, let us go on to the next piece in tonight's show and tell. For that, we go to this one. One of my favorite villains. And I don't mean because I know much about him, but visually, I love him. That's, what's his name? Taskmaster, right?
Yeah. And I love Dan Jurgens and Bob Layton, their run that they did. I've been trying to put together a set of 4 covers that they did around that time, but 2 of them have been eluding me. But yeah, I love the way they rendered him. And yeah, this piece, I guess, can it be considered a half splash? I don't know what percentage splash we can call it, but yeah, just the battle of Cap and Taskmaster, with actually Taskmaster being the one who has the shield in this page compared to Captain America.
Yeah.
Really dynamic page, I thought.
Yeah, the thing that I spotted immediately was just even though he's in a defensive position, I love Captain America's pose, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was like, oh wow, that's you know, getting jerked back like that, you know, by the choke by Taskmaster. I thought like, oh wow, that's really, really cool. And of course, even in the first panel, you get them charging, you know, get one charging at the other. So that's really cool. But yeah, really, really dynamic. And I enjoyed, I never read it myself, but I did enjoy the visuals. I like the Layton inking Jurgens combination, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought that was very good. Would you say you enjoyed the stories very much, Alberto?
Yeah, I think those stories were fun back then and a little bit more lighthearted than what you see these days in a lot of comics, where the stories seem to drag over 10, 12 issue story arcs, and everything seems to be a little bit more dark and somber these days. And I feel like back in the day, yeah, it was just lighthearted, more action, more typical superhero fighting villains. And yeah, I miss those days in a way.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, thank you, Nick. Yes, everybody, please hit the thumbs up. How many do we have, Nick? How many do we have? Are we in the 40s at least? But yeah, I think we can all say honestly that there's things about comics, you know, those of us of a certain age, there's a lot of things about comics we all probably miss a lot, you know? So I know where you're coming from in that respect. Cap, Taskmaster, and Deathstroke all buy their boots from the same shoe salesman. Indeed, they do. I think they get it. I think it's a shoe cobbler. I think they all go to a cobbler, an old school cobbler. They get it made. They all get them made, especially for them. You know. So thank you, Nick. I appreciate it. 44. That's cool. 6 more, everybody. 6 more of you, if you haven't done so. 6 of you who haven't done so, please click the thumbs up. I'd appreciate that. It's just when I get to 50, it'd be a nice round number. And hey, Mark Fong, all the way from Singapore. Cap the head looks oddly positioned in to his body. Well, it's not his head. It's that his well, like everybody was mentioning, I got to look at it larger, but his back, there's issues there, but that's a Jurgens issue. Hey, Carl's collection is here in the house. Evening all, great piece to first see. Well, good for you, but there was a couple of others you missed, so be sure to catch them after. And gave your video a shout out, Carl. So I'm happy to see you here. No loafers allowed, exactly. Okay, so let us go on to the next piece in tonight's show and tell everybody. And now for this one, we are going away from a Captain America title, but you will see some measure of Cap. But I picked this one because I love the villain. To me, the greatest ever Captain America villain. I don't even think it should ever be argued. I don't think it's a conversation at all. But Alberto, you can tell me what you think. Check it out.
Yes, I love this cover. I think Mitch has done some great work in multiple Captain America related titles, and I know Rick gives me a hard time because I seem to own a lot of pieces where Captain America seems defeated or bound or tied up, and this is another one of those. But yeah, I love the way he drew the Red Skull in here, the background, all the heroes kind of be down. You can see not just Cap, but Captain Marvel in there, Iron Man, and yeah, I think it's a powerful image, and Mitch has done some incredible work. I think I got this one in a Comic Link auction not that long ago, maybe a couple years ago, in the last couple of years.
Okay. Yeah, I remember when it was advertised as being there, so it's cool that you ended up with it. Yeah. Yeah, it's very nice. I see, this is one of those examples where, interestingly enough, on this show, you've been here, I'm sure, many times when you've heard us bitching about the coloring in comics. I actually enjoy the colors, the way they went with the pinks, if you want to call it, the light red, if you want to call it, whatever you want to call that color, for the top 2/3 of the cover. But I hate the fact that it obscures a lot of the detail, right, in the structure behind the Red Skull.
Yeah.
That's what's so frustrating about coloring in comics these days. Yeah, way too much obscurity there.
Yeah, and then they added a couple of other things. Like, I don't like how they added that cross kind of thing in the foreground over Iron Man's chest. I like how the original piece from Mitch, actually, you could see his entire armor in there. So they definitely did some edits after the fact.
Yeah, and Ruben likes this one. Of course I like this one. Why else would I pick it? I don't know what you're insinuating, though, Marcus. The black and white art looks way better. Of course it does. It usually does, right? I mean, we all know that. Sepia tone. I mean, it's just like gray wash tones. It's nice. Color not bad, but hides the top. Yeah, that's what I said, CJ. That's exactly what I said. But yeah, you're right. I mean, obviously they knew the logo would obscure it. Why are you repeating what I already said? Yes, I do like the color. I do. But I just don't like that the way it kind of obscures the art. But
it's a shame Nick is not here, but it did say it was a Dynamite variant, just for whatever.
Yes, well, and he's not here, and that's maybe maybe he's still listening. You know him, but I would like to have asked him if he was here what the deal was, because it was actually co-published by Marvel and Dynamite, right? The Avengers and Invaders series, and I never understood that, because it's not like Avengers is at Marvel and Invaders was at Dynamite,
Right.
So I never understood why did he co-publish. I wish he was here. We could have him answer us, but I never understood that. Would have been interesting to know. But okay, so what do we got here? What are those llamas? Oh my gosh, we recommend color matte. Yeah, that poll on the right. Needed also. Okay, well, it's off the screen now. I'm not going to put it back up. Sorry. I actually like how this is colored. What's up, Geeks and Drinks? It looks pretty cool how it's sort of blurry or something. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's cool. Very cool. But again, as usual, I definitely prefer the original artwork as usual. So great cover. And Alberto, I don't know if you answered me. Do you feel the same way I do about who his greatest nemesis is, Captain America?
Oh, for sure. I think Red Skull is it from the beginning. I like the Kirby run, and he was always the bad guy anyway. Yeah. So there's some that I think rival, like Zemo during the Zeck run, but I still think Red Skull is the badass.
Okay, good. I like the colors too. See, there you go. Now people are starting to slowly admit it because I admitted it. Oh, it looks painted in a way. It has that exactly, Margaret. Yes, it has a bit of the Alex Ross-esque look to it. Absolutely. Not blurry. Maybe too many drinks. Yeah, geeks and drinks. Too many drinks. Exactly. Hail Hydra. Okay. Let us go to the next piece, everybody. Let me see what we got queued up here. All right. Yes. So for the next piece, this next piece, everybody, I picked this one because for me, I will say, while I have not read almost any Captain America from the Bronze Age, so from the 70s, so I don't have a really broad sort of cross section of Cap stories in my head. Okay, I really started reading in the 80s onward, and then went back to some of the Silver Age stuff. And I will say, this piece coming up next is from my favorite run of all time, Captain America. This is what I think is, I wouldn't even call it a run, sorry. I would say from my favorite story, my all-time favorite Captain America story, the one that I just enjoyed immensely, more than any other when I read it at the time that I read it. All right. I think, yeah, I don't think I read anything better than this ever. And Alberto, you tell me what you think. And of course, I'm sure it's generational and it's, whatever eras you preferred, whatever. People are going to have their own picks. But this is interesting to say for me because, like I said, the 80s were my heyday. And I really enjoyed the Grunwald run, for years, with the Kieran Dwyer and Ron Lim. And I thought that stuff was fun. But this was great. At least the first 14 issues or so. Here we go. Let's check it out. Captain America from the first issue, page 8. Pencils and inks by Steve Epting from the classic Ed Brubaker run starting in 2004.
Oh, yes. I love Steve Epting's run. And for anybody that's read this first issue, this is actually the first time that Steve Epting draws Captain America in issue 1. He actually spent the first 7 pages kind of setting up the backdrop and showing the Red Skull and other villains and other parts of the story. So this is the first time that you see Cap fully drawn in it.
He doesn't appear fully drawn until this page, you're saying?
Yeah, in the first 7 pages of this first issue, he doesn't.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Very cool. Yeah, bottom panel all day. Yeah, I love that bottom panel. Well, what I really love is actually this is one of those rare moments where I do appreciate the modern technology of publishing comics because it allows us to see the overlay of the Captain America head, right on top of the Red Skull head, Yeah,
I do think you feel like you miss a little bit of the rendering and the inking that Epting did on the Red Skull face by superimposing Captain America in it. It's really cool. Obviously, in the published page, how they mix that in, but I feel like Red Skull looks a lot more menacing in that bottom panel in the original art piece.
Yeah, no, I agree. And Carl even says, I haven't read much Cap, but loved this run. So there you go. It just goes to show for anybody who never really got into Cap and you maybe have been kind of curious, but not enough to try. I would definitely, if you asked me, what would you recommend if you ever wanted me to read one Cap story? This is the one I would point to. I would give you the first 2 trade paperbacks of this series. That's what I would say. The first 2 trades will cover the story, and then if you love it, if you really liked it, then I would still say, yeah, keep reading the issues after that. But at the very least, try the first 2 trades of this series. Yeah, absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, and ultimately, I feel like this is what the MCU Captain America is based on anyway, with the way they brought in the Winter Soldier and all of that stuff. So I feel like even if you haven't read Captain America before this felt kind of like a good introduction and something that, fans of the MCU would kind of appreciate and relate to.
Yeah, and in the interest of pointing out what I always find fascinating about how every collector sees, different collectors see different things in the same pieces of artwork. A few people were pointing out, the bottom panels, and look at Karen saying she loves all the detail, especially the top two panels. So for her, it's the top two that stand out a lot, and the whole thing is fantastic, obviously, but yeah, amazing stuff. So definitely recommend it, everyone. If you ever want to read anything, Cap. Would you say, Alberto, I'm assuming you've read more Cap than I have. Well, let me ask you this. Did you read a lot of the 70s era, Cap?
I did.
Okay.
Back in the early 2000s, I actually completed a full Captain America run from issue 1 through 500 or whatever it was at the time, and I read every single one of them.
Cool.
Yeah, I read the whole run from 100 to 500 since it started at 100. So yeah, I read them all, and I do think that Steve Epting's run was definitely unique, and it was a very welcome change after a lot of the stuff that had come up in the 90s with the Heroes Reborn and Marvel trying to figure out what the heck they wanted to do with these characters. I thought, yeah, they did a great job with Ed Brubaker writing it. I think it was fantastic.
I wish I could opine on it, but I can't since I haven't read it. But I can tell you, though, that over the years, I would say over the last at least 20 years, 25 years, many people have told me that the run where Garney was the artist, was it Mark Waid writing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
From the 90s, it started in the 90s, right? Correct?
Yes.
I heard that run was like, at the time, like, oh, so amazing. Everybody was raving about it. Like, do you agree with that, or?
I liked it, and I love Garney's art in particular. There are other eras that I enjoyed more, but that time I was more coming to the US. I was in college. I was a little bit more disconnected from comics and not following as regularly, so maybe I don't have as much of an attachment necessarily to that. But I like the Brubaker run with Epting, and Lark did some of those issues as well, a lot more.
Okay. All right. Brubaker, Epting, and later my buddy Mike Perkins came in. Actually, started off helping Epting with inking because Epting was too slow to pencil and ink. That's how Mike got involved with that, for anybody who's wondering why that whole thing happened. And then later, not too much later, when they realized that Steve Epting was not going to be able to continue monthly, that's why they asked Mike, hey, would you like to ink him regularly? Because Steve wanted that. And Mike said, no, I love inking Steve, great penciler to ink. But he's like, I want to sort of make my own bones as a penciler inker myself. So I just want to do my own thing. So and it's not going to happen if I just spend my time inking other people, right? So that's why when they said, okay, how about we do this? How about we make the story arcs a little bit shorter, and we'll be like, Steve will pencil and ink 4 issues, and then you pencil and ink 3 issues, and then Steve 4, and then you 3, and then back and forth. And he was like, oh, okay, that sounds pretty good for now. Yeah, okay, let's try that. And that's why they did that for a while. But then later, I don't know when it started, but I was looking through them last night or the night before, and I had forgotten this, that there was a time, and I was looking at the issues 26 to 30. So it's the first story arc after Cap dies, when he gets shot, right? And in those issues, in every one of those issues, it was like Steve Epting does the first 5 pages. And then the next 3 or 4 are by Perkins. And then Steve does 3 pages, and the next 5 are by Perkins. And they just kept trading off and on throughout the whole issue. And they did that for at least that entire story arc. I was like, holy crap, I'd forgotten about that, So it's really fascinating. But thanks to the coloring of Frankie Darmada, he kept the fact that both Steve and Mike have similar illustrative approaches to comic book work. It kept the overall look very, very consistent, you know. And I remember Mike and I used to laugh because we would read the reviews every month on his issues when he was drawing it by himself, and we'd read the reviews, and the fans would, the fan reviews, and the fans would be like, "Oh yeah, another great issue. I love Steve Epting," you know. And so we'd laugh, but of course he'd be like, "Ugh."
What was interesting though in that run, I feel like too, is the way Brubaker was writing the story. It seemed like it kept switching from one context to another. So sometimes it did make that art look a little bit less obvious, because it would be a couple pages which was Captain America, and I don't know if that's what they were splitting it up, but then it would switch to Crossbones or the Red Skull, and I don't know if that's where they say, let's have Perkins draw that part. But I think they tried to do it in a way where it wasn't the exact same sequence that switched from one artist to the other.
I mean, that's how Ed was definitely doing it. He figured, like, in order to keep with the consistency, I'm also going to make it so that, okay, well, like, we break every issue into these mini little chapters, you know, right? Every few pages, it had like a little chapter name to it, you know? And that's how he tried to do it, exactly, you know? Not always, sorry, that's not true. Often giving the Cap stuff to Steve, and, you know, whether it's Red Skull or Falcon and Sharon, whatever, you know, to Mike, because, you know, it was still Steve's book. He started it with Ed, so he obviously had to favor him, you know. But eventually, you know, even Mike still got Cap stuff as well. So it all worked out great, and it ended up being a great run. So I just want to say real quick before we go to the next piece, everybody, Marcus is recommending that I read Heroes Reborn Captain America run. And if you're talking about the one with that gorgeous, scintillatingly beautiful Rob Liefeld art, oh yeah, I can't wait. I'll, you know, thank you for that recommendation. Woof. I'm there. I'll let you know when I get to it. All right, everybody, let us get to the next piece. And the next piece is from one Spaniard to another Spaniard, and then to another one, and to the rest of you, I have this beautiful classic. I haven't read it since the 80s, but I would love to reread it one day. Check it out. Groo, number 4, page 3. This is, of course, from the Image series. Actually, Alberto, I wanted to mention that in your Cap gallery, you have it listed as 1985. So I don't know if it's because you thought it was from the Marvel series, but it is actually from the Image series. I confirmed that.
Yes, and I might be wrong on it. I was just I'd like to put the year in there, and I probably just put the wrong year. But I see James is still in the chat. So this was actually a piece that I got from James, where he sent me the list of pieces that he was hoping to bring to OAX for sale, and he showed it to me, and I purchased it from him before OAX and then picked it up.
Cool.
From him. So I'd like to thank him for letting me get a published piece. I had a sketch that I had gotten from Sergio himself from one of the cons that he did in San Francisco like 15, 16 years ago, because he doesn't really do cons anymore. And I really like the sketch, but I had hoped to get a published piece, and James helped me get it. So, I mean, who doesn't love Groo and all the detail that Sergio just puts in all of these pieces?
Yeah, absolutely. I just remember reading it month after month on the Epic. I bought it with the Epic series. I was aware of it as a few years earlier, like, you know, the first year that I got into comics in '82. I was aware of those issues from Pacific Comics, I believe it was. And, you know, that backup in I think Star Slayer, the first appearance, was that the one? Either way, I was aware of those, but I was like, whatever. I don't know why people are talking about that. I don't care. I was still into like more serious stuff, you know. But then when Marvel, you know, started it with the Epic line, I was like, okay, let me try it. And I tried it. I loved it. And yeah, it just cracked me up. Him and Ruperto,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just love it. I just thought such a dummy, and it's just good fun, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, and Sergio is such an incredible and fun guy, and he will talk to you forever. I picked up a couple of live sketches that he did from a show he did with 4C Comics maybe a couple months ago, where he was just taking requests and drawing stuff. And I love the way he talks as he's drawing and describing what he wants to do and why he's doing things. He's amazing.
Yeah, out of curiosity, have you seen him in person at San Diego ever?
It was not San Diego; it was San Francisco.
San Francisco.
It was WonderCon or SuperCon or whatever it was at the time, like 16 years ago.
Okay. When you did you go up to him and talk to him?
Yeah.
And when you went up to him and talked to him, out of curiosity, did you speak to him in Spanish or English?
Yes, I approached him first in English. Then I told him I was from Spain, and then he started talking in Spanish, and we just started. In Spanish.
Okay. The reason I ask is because there's something interesting happened to me in 2019 when I went to Terrific Con in Connecticut. Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, who was born in Spain, but ultimately as a little kid moved to Argentina, you know, speaks Spanish, obviously. I figured, you know, the poor guy, he's been in America for, you know, since the 70s, probably doesn't speak, you know, on a daily basis to Spanish people all the time. I thought, okay, I'm going to make his day. I'll speak to him in Spanish. And every time I said something, he would answer me back in English. And it was so weird, right? Because I'm like, and he speaks very, very low. I was having a hard time like hearing him. And I don't know. I don't know what was up with that. I kept trying and he kept going back to English. I'm like, I don't know. And then eventually he started asking me, oh, where are you from? In Spanish, he's asking me. But I don't know why he kept answering me in English. I'm like, I don't get it. Like, that's your native tongue. How could you not want to speak? I don't know. So that's why I'm wondering if Sergio would have been the same way, or if he would have.
Sergio will revert to Spanish. Even when he was doing the 4C show, where I got a couple sketches from him, even when I said, hey, I'm from Spain too, and I would ask a question in English, he was answering in Spanish, even though I don't know if everybody else watching it might have found it annoying, but he was happy to go back to Spanish.
Okay, perfect. Glad to hear it. Comic Art Boston said hello and come back. He just jumped in and had to leave again. But thank you, Kat. Appreciate it.
That they co-published Avengers, Invaders.
Okay. Okay. Let me get to that in a sec. See, that's what I said. He co-published. Yeah. But I don't know why though. And I think Derek earlier, I wanted to say, sorry, Derek, I got sidetracked. I wanted to post your comment about the fact of Alex Ross and his exclusive or whatever. And so let me just get to that in a second. But Tariq is asking you, Alberto, who do you like more, Hembeck or Aragonés?
I told him I'm not gonna choose between.
Okay, you've already answered him. Okay.
I refuse to answer.
Okay. Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Carl says Groo is great. What's up, Carl? He sure is. Jumping back in. I know you co-published. Don't worry, we will not tell Pam. It's a secret between just you and me. Not even the people in the chat know this, and not even Alberto is hearing you right now or hearing me. But I guess we're asking, what do you mean by that? Like, given that both groups, Avengers and Invaders, were both Marvel properties, what did you have to do with it? What did Dynamite have to do with it? Why were you involved? That's what we want to know. I've always been curious. So let us know that, please. Don't make me choose. Fastest cartoonist in the world. He could very, very well be. Got to run in a minute, so maybe he's gone. The linguist ignored. I was, sadly, you know. Jewish Dragons, what's up, man? Hey, everyone. Sorry for coming in late, but was like number 50. Yeah! Awesome. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. Thank you, all of you, for getting us all to 50. And thanks to you, Nick, for rallying us there. So he's got us an answer. We brought the idea to Marvel and brought together the creative team. So we were the first publisher who packaged a series for Marvel that had their logo on the comic. Congrats. Okay. I guess, Nick, what I still don't understand, though, is like, okay, you brought the idea to Marvel. But again, since none of the characters are yours, it just seems to me that Marvel would say, like, let's say somebody that you told the idea to, even if in their head they thought, yeah, that sounds good. I would think that they would just ignore you and just move ahead with the project and just do it themselves. Like, why involve you? You know what I mean? Like, what did they have to gain by involving you? That's what I mean. Like, it seems weird, but it's nice that they did. That's cool. That's cool that they didn't like backstab you after you brought the creative team together and all. So Marvel has had Top Cow, Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld, and more packaged books, but we are the only publisher in 85 years to have the logo on the book. Cool, man. That's awesome. Congrats to you. Marvel can't steal the idea. They can't steal the idea of putting Avengers and Invaders together. Why not?
Maybe not that same story. If they were sent the script, they couldn't go ahead and.
Well, that's different. I don't know how much. Yeah, I don't know how much Nick brought to them. You know, I thought he just meant, hey, how about putting Avengers and Invaders together? If you're talking about a pretty, in-depth plot idea, that starts to get a little iffier. Obviously. But okay, all right. Well, thank you for letting us know that, Nick. It's very exciting news, and I've wondered since the comic got published. So it's nice to finally get an answer to that. So, all right, Alberto, let's get on to the next piece, everybody. And for that, I want you to know. Nick would own Marvel through a lawsuit. I don't know, man. They got pretty deep pockets. This next one, had to do it. Just FYI, so you know, I had to do it, and because I had to do it, there's not the usual 20 pieces tonight. There's 22, so there's a couple of extra. Because I loved it so much, the piece we showed a couple of pieces ago, we're going to go back to that series for one more because it is the page following the one we just saw before Groo, and for that, let us take a look at it here. Page 9 from Captain America #1 by Steve Epting, pencils and inks.
Yeah, I thought that you used this one for the header of your show, kind of in the background, that middle panel.
The middle panel, yeah.
Yeah,
it's gorgeous. It's fabulous. I mean, I first of all, I like that both pages have the horizontal widescreen storytelling technique. To me, that makes it more cinematic looking. It makes the storytelling easier to follow. Of course, the content is fabulous on this page, just as it was, if not better on this page than the other one. I love the fact that it's got the middle panel is the World War II sequence, the graveyard scene at the bottom. I mean, there's just so much to love about it,
Yeah, and that's what I was saying earlier. I feel like the first 7 pages were a lot of non-cap background, then captures out in pages 8 and 9. Ed Brubaker was really trying to set the context and going back in time, kind of trying to recap a lot of things that I think were going to shape the story of what he wanted to draw. And I think this is what's great about those pages. That second panel also showing some of the scenes back there around World War II, and then that middle panel, and then when he kind of joins the Avengers, and is just a great recap of a lot of the story that he wanted to draw. I personally do think that the colored piece, I like how the eye was shaded and looked a little bit more mysterious in the colored piece than in the original part, where I don't think his face is really quite as powerful necessarily. You can see that they changed that top panel.
Yes, and that's what Rick points out right here. It changed the panel, yeah. And you're right, Marcus. I don't mind the color because it's barely colored. And of course, it's a beauty, says James. Of course, indeed it is. Very nice, says Tom. And Jewish Dragons. I don't want to say your real name since I'm not sure if you want anybody to know it. Lovely page. Interesting that they chose to black out the left eye in the color page. Yes, that's what we're talking about. Exactly, the changes. I like spot A's. True, JD. Looks like the colorist took some liberty with inking the top panel. There you go. And yeah, so just like a movie storyboard, but rendered as a comic panel page. Gorgeous, says Tariq. Yeah, very much so. So yeah, very beautiful stuff. And again, everyone, just want you all to know, if you haven't read it, even if you're not particularly keen on Captain America, but you're always looking, if you're somebody who's always looking for like just a really good comic book superhero story, read the first 2 trades. So that would be, I guess, the first 14 issues of that run, the 2004 run, Ed Brubaker written run. Fantastic. So okay, excellent. I'm happy I could show both of the pages that you had from that. So and a late yow from Carl. There we go. Amber Ways of Gray. Oh, a couple more comments. I like the gradual change from color to black and white. Yes, exactly. Very subtly done too, right from top to bottom. Lee. Very nice. Carlito, what is up? Good to see you. And Lee says, I met Jewish Dragons at an event and he told me his name, but with my memory, he'll always be Jewish Dragon. There we go. Well, unless he tells me it's okay to say it, I'll just keep it as Jewish Dragons. Okay, cool. Let us jump to the next piece, everyone. And for that, we go to the past. A lot further into the past. I love this. From a very important issue in this character's history. So I thought it would be important to show it. So let's check this out. Tales of Suspense number 59, page 3. Actually, so this is the previous issue is sort of more the key issue. But actually on this one, everyone, I wanted to show this one, not only because
this is the key issue. This is where
not 58.
No, 58 was a story that just had Cap kind of featured in the Iron Man story. This is 59 is the first time that Cap and Iron Man kind of share equal billing on Tales of Suspense. Okay. This is the first story that Cap has his own story.
Right. Okay. Well, I guess technically, personally, I always kind of saw both of the issues as kind of key anyways, you know, in a way. But yes, but my actual main reason for wanting to show this one, apart from the historic aspect and all, is because I wanted everybody to point out, for those of you who love Kirby and who like myself pick Joe Sinnott as his best inker, and I really do. I wanted to show this because it's just an absolutely astonishing example of inking. This is incredible Kirby inks right here. I don't mean that Kirby inked it, but Chick Stone inked it, and it is just a gorgeous. I mean, we don't have the time to get into it, but check it out. Go to Alberto's gallery and check it out in large size, because the inking, the brushwork here is it's right up there with the Joe Sinnott inks that you just adore. Fantastic stuff. And that's one of the main reasons I wanted to show it. But Alberto, tell us a little bit about this, how you acquired it, when you acquired it, and why you love it, and what do you love about it?
Well, it was a big deal when this whole issue was broken up and sold on Heritage back when I got it. And they decided to split the whole story. And it was one of those auctions where you were going page by page. And for some reason that I honestly failed to understand, this piece went for half of what the second cheapest piece went for out of the story. So I feel like honestly I got a steal in here. But this is just the second story page. The first page was a big splash, and then this is kind of the second page of the story. I love that ultimately in here it had the characters. Is the first time that I guess can I take credit for owning the first appearance of Bucky in the Silver Age, even though it's in a picture. I guess
Oh,
You
that
can
that photograph is that photograph in the second to last panel is technically the first time in the Silver Age.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know some
Wow.
people say pictures don't count and it has to be the full character, but I don't think as a full
No,
character
no,
it
no,
shows.
no,
But
no. I mean, the only thing anybody can really argue is that, oh, but it's in a photograph. But that's fine. It's still clearly him. That's what counts, you know?
um, but
I
yeah,
mean,
it kind of sets the story. It shows the goons in there, and it shows Captain America at Avengers Mansion, kind of reminiscing and all that stuff, and then the story moves from there. But it has the typical Kirby weapons with that gun, whatever is showing in that fifth panel over there. That doesn't look like a normal gun. It looks like whatever Kirby feels like he liked to make up. And
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it was just incredible when that story was broken up and I was able to get this on Heritage. I still don't know why this piece went so low compared to others, especially given some of the other pieces and what some of the dealers are selling pieces for. I know Bashara and Glenn were both selling pages for now more than twice what they went for in Heritage. So I
Oh,
feel lucky to own it.
oh, yeah. No, no. I mean, you should consider yourself fortunate to own it. I mean, what an amazing piece of Marvel Captain America history. You know, it's fabulous.
Of course, which great big art is always even more fun to own.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, Tom says that this is also Jarvis's first appearance this issue. Is that right? Do you know that? I don't remember that.
It might be. I don't know if he showed up in Avengers 4
Oh,
or not, but it might be.
okay, okay. First solo cap issue, yeah. Okay, Jewish Dragons is giving us all permission. His name is Ian. So there you go, everybody. The big secret is out. Jewish Dragon's name is Ian. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. What's up, Richie? Good evening to you, my friend. Yes, it is Team Cap tonight. And Margaret says, yeah, first appearance of Bucky is amazing. Yeah, absolutely. Present and named Bucky. Well, lots to love about this page. All those Kirby Tommy guns. Yeah, that's another cool thing about it. Yeah, it's funny because it's like a Tommy gun, but it's like a space age Tommy gun.
Yes.
You know, high tech Tommy gun. Damn, what a beauty. Yes, sir, it is. Hi, Reg, CJ. Okay, large art is great. It absolutely is. Look at that. Jewish Dragons, you got your first hi, Ian, in the chat from a fellow Ian. That's fantastic. Love it. We could do this all night. I'm sure we could. And in past episodes, we have done it pretty much what felt like all night. There you go. You two Ians making a connection. I love it. Amazing and historic page. It certainly is. And I just wanted to say, I didn't want you to think that I was ignoring you, Lance. So I just wanted to say welcome, because what a rare treat it is, my friend, for you to come in live. I know that. So thank you for dropping in and saying hello. But also for where is it? Sorry, here. Where are we? Look at this gentleman and a scholar that he is. Ruben, you are looking great, and Alberto is a super dude. I don't even know what to tell you. I don't know. Thank you.
Yeah, I got a chance to meet Lance in person just a month or two ago.
Oh, nice.
First time, and with Marcus, yeah, he was with
when you guys
Mechanics,
yeah, right,
in the Bay Area, and Lance was kind of showing him around the area, and we met for lunch. So it was great to meet Lance and Marcus. I had met Marcus before, but it was great to see him again, and of course meet Mannix again to pick up my Thundercats piece.
Good, cool, and of course, I was gonna make a joke about that myself, because I was gonna say, wow, is he trying to say that I'm the only good-looking one, and then you're the only super dude? But Marcus is clearing up and saying that Alberto is looking great and Ruben is a super dude.
Thanks, Marcus.
Thank you for evening it out, evening the score there. I appreciate you both. Yeah, so no, awesome page. Love that. Chickstone, just phenomenal inks. And I just really, a lot to like about having a page like that, but I really, especially because of how much love there is for Joe Sinnott, really wanted to point out a Chickstone's inks. Also because I will say, as someone who started reading and collecting in the early 80s, I hated Chickstone inks back then. He was still doing regular work, like on Marvel 2-in-1 and, you know, some other secondary titles. And his 80s stuff was just, to me, it was pretty dreadful. But his 60s work, especially over Kirby, is phenomenal stuff. So really, really great. Alberto and Ruben are super great looking dudes. There we go. That's the best way to put it. That's the way to go. You did it, CJ. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. They are both dudes. Super. All right. You can stop it now. Okay, let's go to the next piece, everybody. And for that, I believe we just saw the 8th piece. Let us check out this very obvious piece that I'm sure you were all expecting and which Alberto mentioned before. Check it out. Green Lantern Rebirth, the very first piece of original art that Alberto bought that he mentioned earlier tonight, just before we started the show and tell portion of tonight's episode by Ethan Van Sciver and inked by Mick Gray from the great, in my opinion, or at least I remember it being pretty great, Green Lantern Rebirth miniseries from 2004 to 2005.
Yeah, so again, this is when Ethan came to, when Rebirth was first going out, and he came up to do a signing at my local comic shop, and he had some pieces for sale, and I just picked this one up. The page after this one is where, Green Lantern punches Batman, because that hand that you see in the bottom panel is Batman saying, "We're not done," and then Green Lantern punches him in a big splash in the following page. But I was able to pick this one up directly from the artist, and it was just fun. I loved Ethan's art back then. It was incredibly detailed. I know he was not necessarily the fastest person to draw because of all the detail that he would throw in there, but I loved this piece, and I just had to get one piece from that issue.
Yeah. And I would like to let everybody know that for those of you who remember and were fans of the 1987 Justice League America series by Kevin Maguire, with the famous 5th issue where Batman knocks out Guy Gardner with one punch. The whole one punch thing, the whole, wow, one punch joke. The page after this is where, as you see in the final panel, that's Batman's hand reaching over Green Lantern's right shoulder. And then the very next panel on the next page, it's Hal turning around and socking Batman. And then playing on that joke from that Justice League series, on this next page, right after Hal knocks Batman down or out, you have Guy Gardner making the joke, screaming out, "One punch!" Yeah, so kind of a funny little homage to that Justice League issue. So a lot of fun. And love panel 2, so dismissive of bats. Yeah, no, it was good stuff. It was good stuff.
And they're small, but you can see the Justice League in that first panel anyway. You can see Wonder Woman and Batman and Superman. So they're tiny, but they're also there.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds good. We'll see you next week, hopefully, Corey. Have a good one. And CJ says, yeah, nice first one. And lantern ring greater than brass knuckles. I wonder why you're mentioning brass knuckles. Could you have been reading Batman First Night, Rick? I'm not sure. But yeah, great page from very fondly remembered miniseries. And yeah, really fun to show that. Had I known that was your first ever page, I would have shown that as the first page before even the Star Wars, but I didn't know that. So, but still fun to see, fun to show you. So fun to show everybody. So, okay, great. Let us look at the next one, everyone. The next piece is one of my, to me, the classic run. Gosh, because this was more my time. I would say, even though my favorite story was the Ed Brubaker first couple of trades worth, the first, the Winter Soldier story. As a run, artistically, it's still kind of, I guess, a lot of it has to do with nostalgia. I don't know, but this comes from that run. It's just it's all-time classic. So, had to show this one. Check it out. Captain America number 265 by the classic team up of Mike Zeck and John Beatty from 1982. My first year in comics.
Yes, and I think Rick unfortunately is gone. He owns the cover of 266, and we've been debating for years which one is the better one. And I always say 265 is better than 266, even though he begs to differ because, of course, he owns the other one. But I love this one. I love Zeck's run. I love this cover that had Spidey and Nick Fury and Captain America and the Sultan. He didn't last too long as a villain, but
no, that's for sure.
Plus, everybody wants to win a Columbia 10-speed racer anyway.
Yeah. I never sent mine in. I never tried to win. I can say that. But no, it's cool. I mean, the fact that it's got Spidey, Nick Fury, the robots, very detailed.
Insane amount of detail. If you look at the art in the background, all the machinery.
Yeah, the machinery. Yeah.
John Beatty and I don't know how much Zeck drew or if it was John Beatty who added all the detail to the machinery, but it's definitely incredible and very detailed.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, as a lot of our friends in the chat are all saying, they all love it. And yeah, man, I mean, look, it's a Zeck cap cover. I mean, it's just one of the greatest runs of. I mean, they did interiors as well, but like just the covers, month after month. I just loved seeing Mike Zeck Beatty cap covers. I mean, it's just an amazing run of covers and interiors. So great run. Well, you should take a photo on your 10-speed bike with a cover in it. What's the matter? They don't ride bikes in Canada. They absolutely do, my friend. They absolutely do. But I already had a bike, so I didn't need to tear up my comics to try to win one. Zeck at the peak of his powers. Yeah. Classic stuff. So very cool. I'm glad everybody appreciated that. I mean, I figured, it's Zeck cap is it's an all-time classic. It was listen, that run was a classic even before it ended.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I got into comics in 82, being at the comic shop every day after school. I remember I was learning really quickly, absorbing everything really fast. And I remember immediately noticing how amazing Zeck was as an artist, and his cap stuff was just so amazing. I could immediately see that this stuff had to be considered classic cap stuff, some of the best caps ever looked, and the way other people would talk in the store would be like, yeah, Zeck, like a big name artist. Oh yeah, Zeck, especially Zeck cap, and he was still on the title and still talking, and people would still talk about it in those terms, So yeah, all-time classic, and I think it always will be. So
yeah, and I have my three, not to humble brag, I guess, but I have my three covers kind of framed one on top of each other right as I enter the office, kind of around the corner there, and it's the first thing that I see whenever I enter this room. I see my three Zeck covers all together, and it's definitely one of my favorite runs.
Oh, good. I'm happy to hear that for sure. Thanks, Nick. I appreciate it. But listen, buddy, we already got the 52. We got 50. We hit 50, so that's cool. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. No surprise, Ruben likes Zex. What do you mean by that?
If we hit 60 likes today, Nick will do another giveaway on Friday.
I love how you try to get somebody to do something good for me, but then say that he will do something good for everybody after that as a thanks. That's good. Good. I don't have to give anything out of my pocket. Let Nick be out of pocket some more. I love that. Zeck was the best at Captain America and Punisher. Yeah, certainly. That for me, he's the all-timer for sure.
And a little bit of Secret Wars too, but we won't mention that.
But the deadline didn't allow for him to do good work. So unfortunately, Alberto has said it. Let it be so. Yeah. Oh, look at he agrees. Yeah, 60 likes. I'll get him. Oh my God, you guys are too much. Okay. And with that, hey, so listen. So we've already shown half the pieces. Do you want this to be the halfway point where you go into your magic closet that you talked about?
I'm happy to show some of the latest that hasn't made it to CAF yet.
You said you had a couple that you wanted to show. I don't know. You want to bring a couple of pieces out?
Sure. I know I posted some of them on Facebook, but not necessarily.
Oh, really? Okay.
But I think this is the one that I'm getting a frame for coming up, which is a triple
the Hitch?
Cover by Hitch. Yes.
Yeah. Holy crap. That's how many? 4 of them together?
It's 3 together, all on one board, though. So there's no.
That's one board.
Yes.
One piece of paper, not cut up.
Yeah, it's all one piece of paper, solid, which is why I have to keep it like this. I can't put it in a portfolio, but I have a frame coming. But it has all the characters that you can think of drawn by him. Here, X characters. You've got Avengers. You've got Cat in there. You've got Spider-Man. It's amazing, and a piece that will get framed as soon as I get the frame. It's a big frame.
Well, I can, but do you actually still have wall space for that?
I'll find it. I bought a frame, so now I gotta find a piece to put the frame in.
Okay.
But there's no other easy way to store this in a portfolio because of the size of it and being in one page. So rather than having it sitting around, I figured I would frame it and find a space for it.
Yeah, I was gonna say myself, like it's the kind of thing where if you don't frame that, you're better off not owning it because there's nowhere else, right? Like you can't put it in a portfolio, so it's just you're gonna have to carefully hide it in a closet somewhere out of the way so it doesn't get damaged. It has to be displayed,
Yeah, it doesn't fit anywhere, so it will get framed for sure. Margaret, just for you, there's a couple of pieces of yours in this closet as well, but I won't divulge those necessarily.
Who's did you say?
Margaret.
Oh, Margaret. Okay.
Uses me as a shipping mule sometimes.
Yes, I know. She mentioned it. She mentioned it to me. Yeah.
And then I just picked this one up just for fun. Is the cover to Jetsons Giant Size #1.
That's fun. How old is that?
I don't know exactly when it was published. But yeah, it was from Scott Shaw, and I thought it was fun. I like the Jetsons, and I like some of these 80s or earlier cartoons. So I picked it up recently, and it just arrived.
And they're very affordable. That's the best part, right?
They are. And yeah, I think we'll probably stick to that. But that's where all my art sits in there.
Yeah, we can see all the portfolios standing up. Holy smokes!
Is that
there? Hey, by the way, Margaret is she seems a little upset, thinking that you referred to yourself that she's using you as a shipping mule. I thought it was a pretty good way to put it. I thought that's kind of funny. Hey, it's better than a drug mule. Come on, Margaret, you're safe. Don't worry. There's nothing illicit or illegal crossing the border, so you're all right.
Yes.
So that's so funny. Rick says, my friend Rick loves those Hanna-Barbera cartoon covers. they're fun. They're really fun. And since they don't have a lot of interest, they go for cheap. They can be had for really, really cheap. Very affordable stuff. So,
And Mark already did the research, and he says it's 1992 Harvey Comics.
Appreciate it, Marcus. Thank you. 1992. Okay, already over 30 years old. Wow. How many portfolios would you say are in that closet, Alberto?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20.
20. Well, okay.
Of different sizes. Some have like 12 pages, some have 24. So it's hard to tell. But yeah.
Margaret says, I prefer to think of it as a business transaction. And then said, that just makes it sound worse, doesn't it? I would say so. I just keep it buttoned up there for now, Margaret. Everything's good. Don't worry.
Yeah, just drop it at this point. Don't keep it digging yourself into a worse situation.
Customs is not aware of anything going on, so don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And believe me, I'm sure that you appreciated all the help. Believe me. Alberto, now you need an original Jetsons lunchbox to display with it, he says.
I barely have enough room for art. I definitely don't have room for lunchboxes or other stuff too.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty Woman, yes, a business transaction, exactly. Okay, so let us continue on with tonight's show and tell, everybody. And for the next piece, from Zeck Captain America, we are moving on to something that may surprise you. Check it out. Uncanny X-Men number 29 by Chris Bachalo and Tim Townsend from 2014. What's up with this one? Why did this one make it into your collection, Alberto?
Well, first of all, it has Cap in it.
We see that.
Therefore, I have an excuse for it to fit in my collection. But no, I liked it. I think it's just Chris Bachalo blue lines. It's all Tim Townsend. I think I mentioned that in.
Oh, okay.
Calf. I don't think the pencil.
Oh, yes, that's right. That is correct. I guess I should have put blue lines, but it doesn't matter since we're not trying to sell it, right? It's not a sales show, so it doesn't matter.
But I just like that cover, and it had a lot of characters in there. It had Spidey, all the X characters. It had Cap in it. Interestingly, Iron Man was kind of in the foreground in the original art, and then he was moved more into the background in the published version. So I don't know why that changed, but it came up in one of the shows. I don't know if it might have been one of Nick's shows or one of the Amateur Dueling Dealer shows, but it came up and I liked it, and I didn't really have any X-Men covers, so I figured it was a good one to have. I enjoyed Chris Bachalo's art anyway, so this was a good one.
Oh, that's good. And yes, DJ, what Cab said, behave yourself. Asking what blue lines is. Okay. Oh, here we go, Marcus. You behave yourself now with the with the famous expressions. Dangerous game. Yes, ma'am, it is. Bachalo is a great artist. He certainly is. Very popular too, amongst readers and comic original art buyers and collectors. So no, you don't try hard enough, CJ. Nice, says Carl. No way, says Marcus. Laughing, okay, Professor X Journal. So that's what's so interesting that Rick brings it up, because that's what I wanted to bring up, actually. Do we know if what they're doing there, because that's She-Hulk, who's a lawyer, and you can
see the title in the stat in there where it says The Last Will and Testament of Charles Xavier.
Okay, because all I could see was the name Charles Xavier. So I was going to ask, do you know if they're going through his will? And I was going to say, is this like, the 17th time that Xavier has died, and now they're, trying to go through who gets what out of his possessions?
Yeah, I think it's one of those, 28 times that he's died. I can't keep track of it. I will admit I didn't read a whole lot of this run of the X-Men. I bought it more just because it seemed to have everybody that doesn't make sense to be part of the Last Will and Testament. Like Doctor Doom is there in the background, Deadpool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing. Why the heck would they be in the reading?
Yeah. Even Man-Thing, who can't speak, is there.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. Yeah, but a lot of fun. Already 10 years old, this one. I really love, I always love when they incorporate logos differently into the artwork like that. So that's kind of fun too, you know? So I always like that. And I always love seeing Jennifer Walters in her attorney clothing as well. That's always been kind of neat. And like Marcus pointed out, I love the Tiffany lamp on the table. That's pretty cool too. That's a nice little extra touch, you know? So very nice. Very nice. Okay.
Yeah, you never know what I'm gonna end up having in my collection. When it's not Cap, I pick up some pretty random stuff.
Yeah. But it's nice. It's nice for other people to see that. You know, when people are used to seeing mostly the same thing over and over from one collection, and occasionally you throw them a curveball, it makes it interesting. That's what makes it cool, because it's like, oh shit, he put something that isn't Cap or whatever, you know. Let's take a look at this, you know. So it's fun. I think it's fun. It adds, you know, it adds variety, and yeah, it makes it more interesting. So, yeah, very cool to see that.
Okay. So yes, Nick is confirming that after an EXP show, I texted back and forth with him a few times for a package deal of this and other stuff.
Yeah, who texted him though? You texted him for a package deal for this? Oh, that's how the Thundercats came to be. Okay.
After Nick's shows, we end up texting a lot, and I end up with big package deals. Somehow, Nick manages to sell me a lot of stuff.
Right. Okay. And I'm surprised when Alberto doesn't get it. Are you trying to say he gets many of them? How many of Thundercats have you picked up at this point?
I don't have that many. I have that #1 cover, and I just picked up, I believe it's #4. Nick would know, a Ken Hazer variant cover.
Oh.
An homage to the Spidey cover where MJ shows up saying that, he's hit the jackpot. So it's kind of a cute little homage variant cover that Ken Hazer did.
You mean the Mary Jane Watson?
Yeah.
Right.
I only have those 2 published covers and then the Mannix piece, but I know I've been trying to get Nick to get that as a published cover, so I can say I got a Mannix published cover, but I don't think the license holders have agreed to it yet, or if they will, just because Mannix is pretty stylized, so I don't know if it will meet the requirements.
Right. Marcus thinks you should start buying shares of EXP ownership stake as part of the package deals that you do.
What makes you think I don't?
Nice. Monkey Poo Poo says, I kind of regret passing on some of Nick's stuff. Well, there you go. What are you going to do, though? Buy it so you don't regret. Like I always say, Michael, buy it now, worry about it later. Who cares about your wife and you know, the wife, the kid needs to eat, whatever. We can, you know, we're human beings. We can survive without food for like 30 some odd days or whatever. As long as you drink water, you know, you got yourself at least 4 to 5 weeks. So buy the art, more important. Alberto bought a Thundercats 1 and 2 Jay Lee, and then a Ken Hazer #4. Okay, you got 3 of those are the 3 you got. All right, look at that. The Nickster coming in with the specifics. The accountant for Nick wants that to happen. Yeah, I'm sure. Now you need to behave. Now I need to behave myself. Oh, come on. Oh, behave. Yeah. Thank you, Cab. I appreciate it. I'm pretty well behaved. Okay, let us go on to the next piece, everyone. And let me see. What do we got queued up for the next piece? Oh, yeah. What's one of my favorites? Well, a lot of these are my favorites. Of course, so I'll say the same thing over and over. But going back to the past, early Bronze Age here, I believe. Just love the artist. So I have to show it. Here we go. Check this out. Captain America 120, second page of the story by Gene Colan and Joe Sinnott. I just want to say, everyone, it's not Sinnott's usual inking style. It's really, really nice, but he doesn't use the same feathering style that he's famous for, which is what really kind of blew me away about the piece. But do yourselves a favor and go check the page out larger by looking at the full-size scan in Alberto's gallery, because you'll see what I mean. It's fabulous, really, really nice. But Alberto, take it away, my friend.
Yeah, I love Gene Colan. I know a lot of people don't like the way he draws the anatomy and how sometimes his body seems to be in weird shapes, but I loved his run, and I love that bottom panel of Captain America jumping over the fence, but it also has that top left panel with Sam and the whole story, and yeah, kind of depicting like the neighborhood and how Falcon and Cap would kind of works together in Harlem. So I thought it was a great page for sure, of an era that I thought was a lot of fun. And for folks that are that attend the Dueling Dealer shows, they'll know that I recently picked up a splash page from just 2 issues before, the title splash to 118, which was the first story that Sam Wilson ever appeared on. So this is only the 3rd or 4th issue that Sam Wilson shows up as the Falcon in Captain America. But I love that run, and it was great. And I couldn't imagine of a better piece that had both characters displayed pretty prominently.
Yeah. Oh, it's a fantastic example. Cap says, Colan and Wood on Cap was amazing. It's a pity that they only worked on 1 issue of the series. Yeah, well, that's exactly. But enjoy that 1 issue, and if you can get art from that issue, even better. And you think Colan and Sinnott comes a close second. Wow, that's interesting, given that Sinnott wasn't a typical inker for Colan. You know, it took me a while to appreciate Colan's art. His style is beautiful. Yeah, it's great. And like like you were saying, Alberto, his anatomy was always wonky, quirky, whatever. But it's like he painted with his pencil, the way he drew. It's just very unique, certainly very unique. Nobody
ever recognize him instantly whenever you see a Colan page.
Yeah,
which is amazing.
Yeah. No, it's fantastic. So yeah, remember, everybody, go check it out in Alberto's gallery to get a better look at the especially how Sinnott inks it. You'll see that it's not quite how he does the feathering on anybody else. His typical inking feathering work. It looks like on this issue and this page in particular, it looks a lot closer to those of you who are familiar with Sid Shores, the work that Sid Shores was doing over Colan's pencil on Daredevil, which I love. I love the Sid Shores stuff. It looks closer to that. So who knows? Maybe it was just, I don't know, maybe they asked him to do it that way. I don't know. But very nice. Very, very, very nice. So that's a great page. So CJ says, that is a classic. Oops, sorry. Let me put it up there. Classic page. Inkers had a range of methods of Gene's buttery pencils. Yes. Sinnott's inks were always fantastic. They sure were. Fluid. It's a good word. I prefer the feathery touch on Colan. You don't see many artists even attempt to copy Colan's style. No, there's never really been nobody ever tried to be a Colan clone, like they did with Adams and others. I did actually get some pages from the Colan Wood issue. I knew you did, but they were understandably extremely expensive. Understandably is right. Exactly. There you go. But at least you got some. So that's great.
Yeah, but I love Colan Sinnott, and I actually have the cover to 121, the issue right after here in my wall. I was actually looking at it, and I just love, again, Colan's style.
Lo vamos a enseñar después, un poco más tarde.
But yeah, so just love that run. And here it is. back to the wall where it belongs.
Yeah, where it belongs, exactly. I think Tom Mandrake sort of comes kind of close to Colan. I see what you mean, but still far enough to say that no, it's not Colan-ish. But I know what you mean by that, Ian. Thank you. So it's an interesting thing to bring up. Yeah. It's like similar, but still very different, you know. But yeah, I do know what you mean. Even Colan doing Wonder Woman. You love that, Carl? You know, it's funny because he went to do Wonder Woman in the early 80s because he was just so out of vogue by the early 80s, you know, with the, you know, your Jim Starlins, George Perez, John Burns, you know, the Silver Age guys were no longer, again, nobody wanted them. They wanted Byrne and Perez and Starlin. And so he couldn't get any more work, and that's why he had to go to DC, and that's how he ended up at DC doing Wonder Woman, interestingly enough. Now, however, these days, everybody appreciates all those Marvel Silver Age guys who later went to like do DC stuff in the 80s, and pay good money for that stuff that at the time nobody cared for, you know, like Wonder Woman, Colan, whatever. Yeah, so decades later, the stuff is appreciated finally, you know. Heavy Shadows. I posted a few comics and movie prompts this week for sale. Sold 3. So look at Alberto. I'm looking for new nice cat pieces. Okay, he's challenging you. Colan was prolific, and sometimes the inker screwed up his anatomy issues. Well, listen, if they're already issues, they're already issues to begin with. So can you really screw them up anymore? You know. Nice. Also, got a dealer's badge for Heroes. Well, you keep talking about other conventions. Tom, you keep talking about things that we're not even talking about. What's happening here? Heck, etc. Okay, all right, everybody. Let's move on to the next one. And for this next one, it's funny that I call them contemporary era. That's because I consider anything pretty much like 1980s and onward. To me, that it still feels contemporary. I guess because I started collecting in the 80s. And so I have all these memories of buying that stuff off the stand brand new. So it doesn't feel old. You know, to me, only things that were back issues and older, you know, feel like old. But yeah, he started his career in, I don't know, 83, 84, 85, somewhere around there. A lot of people don't know that. They think they only remember seeing him in the 90s for the first time. But a fabulous piece. Let's check it out. The Dearly Departed, by the way. Captain America, Sam Wilson, issue number 7. It was a multi-short story issue. And this is, I believe, the last or second to last issue story in the issue. The first page from Oak, and I'm so embarrassed that I hit the O instead of the I on my keyboard and didn't catch that, and I put Tom. Sorry. My God, I hope you're not turning over in your graves, Tim. Oh my God, so sorry. But yeah, Alberto, please save me here and talk about this.
Yeah, this piece came out for auction, and I loved everything about it. I didn't have any team sale pieces, but I loved the way he kind of had the angle, the kind of crooked angle of it. There were not a lot of panel pages that had Cap in full uniform standing in there. Plus, then you have the goons kind of around the corner, and you can just see Cap waiting for them to come around and beat them up. But just the whole angle and the shade behind Cap and the way he stylized it, I think was just incredible. And a piece that I had to get when it came out for auction.
Yeah, and did you mention when it was that whenabouts it was that this auction was?
I want to say maybe 2 years ago, a year and a half. I think he had already passed, but I'm not sure. Or it was shortly before he passed, and but it was pretty close to that time frame.
Oh, interesting. So you're okay. So you're saying you're not really sure if you remember if it was pre or post death.
Right.
Oh, and you know what's funny about that you wouldn't remember. Most of the time, what I find interesting, most of the time, people will remember stuff like that because of the fact that they remember based on how much they had to pay for it, because they always know that it's after the death. They remember having to pay through the nose because everybody jacks up the prices, and if it's at auction, you know, everybody's desperate to, like, okay, now they decide. Everybody who ever wanted to get a piece by that artist suddenly is going, you know, they're like, okay, now's my time before it goes even higher. But of course, everybody getting in on that, thinking the same way, causes, right? It's a self-fulfilling prophecy, in other words, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, so I posted it pretty close to when I got it, and I posted it seems like in January of 23. I don't remember when he passed exactly, but it took a couple weeks to get it from Heritage or whatever, so it was probably early January of 2003.
2023, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and he passed on June of 2022, so it was after he had passed.
Okay. And everybody, I've never done this before on any of my show and tells, mostly because I feel like it's going to take a long time and it's very difficult while I'm doing this live and talking and, you know, manipulating the software and whatnot. But I seem to have gotten better, and while we were doing this, I'm so proud to say that I'm able to put the image back up with the corrected name. So there we go, everybody. I corrected it. I made a new slide, and thank God, first time ever, I've corrected one of my mistakes live on air before we've even gone on to the next slide. So I'm very happy, Tim, in honor of you, wherever you may be, my friend, that I was able to do that for you. So yeah, fantastic piece. Just really, really love it. Yeah, and happy to see that this made it into your collection, Alberto, because yeah, I love Tim's work, regardless of what character he works on, and I just think it's a tremendous piece. Yeah, I mean, tilted camera angles always add drama, but this one's tilted at a much more severe angle than they usually are, and I just think it just builds the drama even more, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know, but it just looks amazing. I wish that it had been Tim who had inked in the "Catch Me If You Can" logo onto the art. That would have been really cool, and you know, would have added more to it, you know. But still, yeah, no, it's absolutely phenomenal. And thank you, CJ. Appreciate it.
I think it was cool how they did kind of the logo where the A in can kind of goes on the head where the A would be on the mask. Anyway,
Oh yeah.
Try to match that to show that it's Captain America's shadow in there. But yeah, it would have been cool if it was hand-drawn art.
Yeah. But you know, that's okay. Nonetheless, it is a spectacular piece and fantastic that you own it. So if you're gonna own modern day contemporary pieces, hard to get better than a Tim Sale, in my opinion. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't go back 40 years to consider contemporary pieces like you do, but I think everything in the last 15 years or so, I do consider contemporary for sure.
Right. There we go. Okay. From there, everybody, let us move on to the next piece. The next piece is not Cap. I mean, he's there, but it's not. It's Siege, number 3, page 8, by Olivier Coipel and Mark Morales from 2010. A great Captain America pose, you know, regardless, but not from a Cap book. But yeah, pretty awesome. And I know that this stuff is very sought after.
Yeah, again, a story that I will admit I never read, but I saw this piece come up for sale, and I love the way Olivier just drew every single character in this page. There's actually 2 Captain Americas in there in a way. But you have Spider-Woman and
Yes,
Spidey.
yes.
You have so many characters in there. And yeah, the way he drew it, I just felt like it was an incredible piece. And I love the inking work. Even if you just look at the shield of Captain America there, just the way he inked it and with the reflections, Mark did a great job with it.
Yeah, it's absolutely, yeah, beautiful. And like I say, very sought after. Everybody loves this guy's stuff, it seems. So, yeah, one of the more popular guys of the contemporary era, let's call it. Yeah, really amazing. And yeah, that top 60% of the page is just like, yeah, pretty phenomenal. And super happy to see Taskmaster there again. So that's that's always fun, you know.
Yeah, does he even still draw traditionally, or is he one of the artists that has moved to digital?
Somebody in the chat, please let us know the answer to that. I myself do not know. I feel like I have a memory of a friend telling me that he has begun over the last few years doing more digital stuff, but I don't want to confirm it. But I feel like I remember somebody telling me that. So yeah, somebody please let us know. Let me see. Yeah, this one's just wonderful, says Carl. I loved his, oh yeah, Tim Sale, his Daredevil Yellow Series best. Yep, that was awesome. Ruben the Paperclip Assistant. One letter makes all the difference on that last one. Yep. Love Coppel's work. You know, his first comics gig was on the Legion title. I did not know that, Margaret. Interesting. That is very, very interesting. Thank you for letting us know, though. That's pretty cool. Okay, got to check out soon, but glad that I could check in a little while. So are we, Cab. Do take care of yourself. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And see you soon. Wicked Taskmaster, absolutely. And Karen says bye-bye. Specific story context almost doesn't matter. We know some shit is going down. It's great. Well said, Carl. Well said. There we go. Very cool pages, Karen. My favorite Miss Marvel costume. Oh, is it? Oh, that one. Yeah, that's a classic. Exactly. Me too, Carl. Good night, Kat. Good night. Okay, you too. Bye, Vivian. Good night. And good night, and aloha to Kat.
Since you seem to like Taskmaster, at least you picked two pieces already by him. I posted Spider-Boy cover today by Humberto Ramos that has Taskmaster featured pretty prominently, his head in a Spider-Boy cover. So
okay, we'll check it out after.
Look at it later.
Yeah, for sure. All right, excellent. Unfortunately, Tab is leaving right at the wrong time. I know he's a Silver Age lover extraordinaire, and I have chosen this page not only because it's Cap, I also chose it because it's Kirby, and I also chose it because I used to own it. And as I made the slide, I couldn't remember if I had sold it to you, but I feel like it wasn't me who sold it to you. I feel you got it from whoever, whatever, some second generation collector. But let's check that out, everybody. Kirby Cap in a great half splash. There we go, from 197 by Kirby and Giacoya from 1976, so the bicentennial year.
Yeah, I love that top panel for sure. I know this range of Jack Kirby, some Kirby fans think that by 197 going into the 200s when he did his second run, it wasn't quite as good. I still love the way Kirby and Giacoya did the art. And here, that top panel with the Falcon in that costume, which I like a lot better than that greener costume that we saw back in Colan run. To me, this is a quintessential Sam Wilson Falcon uniform for sure. And yeah, Captain America holding his shield. And I like it. There's a lot of text and bubbles and word balloons and everything that shows. I feel like back in the 60s how there was so much story in them. And I love these pages that have so much text. Maybe Nick can do a dramatic reading of this page at some point today. But yeah, I love these Kirby pages from this run.
Yeah, and would you be able to confirm that it was indeed not me that you got this from?
It was definitely not from you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I sold it.
One of the
sold
big dealers. It wasn't from a collector. It was from a dealer. I don't remember exactly who, but it was one of the big dealers somewhere.
Okay. Thank you, Cab. Have a good one. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. No.
Cheaper if I got it from you than from one of the dealers.
Oh, that's for sure. And because I actually sold it probably around 20 years back too.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was definitely cheaper, even just for those reasons. I want to say something in the 500 or 600 range, something like that.
I wish I had paid for it.
What can I tell you? Like I said, it was a couple of decades ago, you know? Oh, that's so funny. Let's see. I prefer word balloons on my original art. A lot of people do. Pot of gold. Yes, a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. All the Irish collectors would love this page too, you know? Just for that reason.
St. Patrick's Day cover or
panel. Love how the Falcon is all we didn't come for. As all we didn't come for gold, and the rank and file are like, hold up, there we got our butts kicked and need some dosh. Excellent. But yeah, really, really fun page, and it was a good memory to see this again. Very, very cool. I mean, and not only you get that beautiful half splash, but like, you know, people get so obsessed with looking at great half splashes, but you forget that, like, hey, even one of the only other two panels has a full figured cap itself, right? So the last panel itself is also pretty great. And you get a cameo. I mean, only the back of his head, obviously, but he's still in every single one of the three panels. And yeah, so
another little coloring mistake by the colorist that made the A in his mask in blue, but in that bottom panel, the A in his mask is blue.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's tons of little mistakes like that back in the day, though. You know, who was the writer on this issue? Tom wants to know. Do we know who was writing back then?
I do not know.
Yeah. All right, Tom, you look it up. It's easier for you to just do a Google search.
I'm sure Marcus or
do a Google search for like whatever cap 197, whatever. Then the credits will come up, and you'll know. All right. Next piece, everyone. For the next piece, we got about a handful more to go, everyone. And for those of you who are on a time limit, Karen, let us go to, again, the more contemporary era for a phenomenal cover. I just love this. And if you like Rain, then you'll really love this one, Karen. Check it out, everybody.
I think we know if it's Rain who it was going to be. I feel like Romita, for some reason, has cornered the art of Rain covers for some reason.
Yeah. It's phenomenal, though. Like the power in that Rain is just amazing to me. You know, the pose is amazing. I love his left hand. I mean, God, just getting drenched, because it's not just raining, it's like literally a downpour, you know?
Yes. And yeah, I remember getting this cover. I've joked with Nick about this because in this run, this Rick Remender run, which I didn't really appreciate when it first came out, to be honest, he did 10 covers, I believe, and between Nick and I, we have 8 of them, I believe, or we've cornered the majority of these Romita covers. We all know Nick loves Romita. Okay?
We know. Good night, Karen.
Yeah. But yeah, I saw this cover, and to me it was one of the more iconic ones from this run. A lot of the other covers have him either without his mask or with a beard, if you know the story, or with some of those characters from Dimension Z. but this one, yeah, is just powerful, and it screams Captain America. Plus, it has kind of his more traditional uniform, which during this time I feel like they were drawing him a lot in his ultimate style with the utility belt and those kind of things. But this is his classic uniform.
Absolutely. Yeah. Good night, Karen. Go take care of those kids. Yeah, absolutely.
Fan, I'm sorry, but I'm not selling this one. It's framed in my wall right there and is not going away.
There you go. There you go. There you go, Tom. It ain't happening. The rain is beating Cap down. It certainly is. Yeah, no, it's phenomenal. This would be a good one for Mannix to do. The rain in the black and white version looks so much better. The color version almost blots it out. Yeah,
and exactly. Credit to Klaus for this one. I'm not sure how many of the rain lines Romita actually did and how much was actually left out to Jansen to have to draw all those rain lines in there and ink them.
There you go. Larry says bye to you too, Karen, in case you're still listening. Yeah, I think what I wanted to say to Tariq is that for me, when you start looking at the original first, and you're like, wow, that's a downpour, you know, and then you look over to the right, it's like, oh wow, it looks like it was raining hard, but it's coming to an end now. You know what I mean? No, yes. You get that sense. No, it feels like it's like, yeah, it was raining hard, but like it's starting to slow down now. You know, I don't know. That's what it feels like to me. But this rain piece reminds me of the FF51 splash page, says Carl. That's an interesting observation. Rich says heroes are always running in the rain for some reason. You rarely see villains running in the rain. I don't know. Maybe they hate the rain. I don't know, man. What can I say? Make it rain, yeah. But yeah, digitally altered. Are you referring to the rain, Makipupu?
Yeah, I think for the color, because you can see some of the more circles or whatever.
The circular, yeah, the circular, yeah, exactly, yeah, that's right. Yeah, they kept some of the straight lines, but then yeah, digitally added in the color is probably just dropped in all those circular ones to make it look like more drops or whatever. But yeah, no, the original kicks ass big time. I mean, it's still pretty cool on the published, but you really get the sense of the power of the downpour in the original art, you know? Yeah, Margaret agrees as well. Yeah. So it must be raindrops, so many raindrops. Look at this guy singing. Colors, yeah, I don't know. Colors are okay. A lot of different feeling to the piece, yeah. Blame it on the rain. We got a Milli Vanilli fan here with Larry. Rain on the cover reads more like he's in the Matrix. Original all the way here. I agree. You love the cover, so do I. So very happy to see this one and show it to everybody because yeah, that's one of the most killer pieces tonight, artistically speaking. Yeah, so there you go. The next piece, everybody. The next piece, I believe I decided that we were going to go again back since we were just in a more contemporary zone. I figured we'd go back far back and jump back to the Silver Age. Well, for similar or same reasons as I earlier went to the Silver Age. Why don't we check this one out and let Alberto talk to us a little bit about it. Tales of Suspense 58 by Don Heck and Dick Ayers from 1964.
Yeah, so this was the page before Tales of Suspense 59, which was his official first story on Tales of Suspense. But I actually got this at a show the Bashara does here in the Bay Area last year or maybe 2 years ago, where he was like, I know you have a Tales of Suspense 59, which was Cap's first issue, but do you have a page from Tales of Suspense 58 where Cap actually was a featured guest on the Iron Man story? And of course I didn't, so I picked this one up. It's not as historic, but and obviously the art's by Don Heck, so it doesn't get as much credit or appreciation as Kirby does, but I love that story. It had obviously both Iron Man and Captain America duking it out, and I just had to get it, and it's amazing. I think someone said that Romita might have had something to do with the Iron Man figure in the bottom left. I don't know, but I haven't seen him credited for anything, so I'm keeping everything as Don Heck and Dick Ayers. But I think it's just an amazing piece from the issue before his first issue.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic, and you're right. He's never going to get the credit because let's be honest. He was nowhere near as good as Kirby, but he got a lot of flack. I only started hating Heck's work later in his career. I was not a fan of his style, into the 80s pretty much, but I always thought that his Silver Age stuff at Marvel, I thought it was really fun. Again,
legendary historic stories anyway. So to me, he's up there in the list of Silver Age artists. But yeah, this piece was definitely a lot cheaper than the Tales of Suspense 59.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess because you kind of like what you were explaining earlier. The other one's more of the key or whatever.
Yeah.
Got a bid on a few nice Ayers pieces this month at Heritage. Need something nice. All right.
You're not getting this one either, Mr.
Forget about it, Tom. You're done. Cool. All right. So the next piece is a cool piece. Older, not as old, but Bronze Age. One of my all-time favorite artists. And also inked by somebody who never really inked this penciler. And who I love as an artist himself, on Jonah Hex in particular. I just thought it was really great, and yeah, the pose on the character is fantastic. So let's check this one out. Yeah, I love this. Check it out. Captain America 221 by the legendary Gil Kane, inked by Tony DeZuniga, 1978.
Yeah, I love this piece, just the pose of Captain America jumping into the guns. And I love the guns. They kind of remind me a little bit of Kirby Tech.
Yes, exactly.
Kirby drew those weird guns.
I knew you were going to say that, by the way. I just knew it.
But yeah, I just love. I think Gil Kane did incredible work on this, and yeah, I don't know how many times Tony has inked Gil Kane, especially in Cap. But this is one of the first big covers that I got from Cap, and it has a very special place in my heart, and it's sitting again in the wall behind me where I can see it every day. But I just think it's a classic, and I think Gil Kane was the one that took over for Kirby after he finished his run in the early 200s. So he had big shoes to fill, and he did a great job.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Did you say this was one of your first Captain America original covers that you purchased?
Yes.
Okay. How long ago would you say that it's been now at this point?
Honestly, I don't remember.
Okay. But still, one of the first covers. You're not saying one of the first like Bronze Age covers, just one of the first Cap covers.
Yes.
Yeah. From any era, basically. Right? Yeah. No, it's what a great one to pick up as one of your earliest ones. Carl says, yeah, Gil Kane. Enough said. Yeah, love Kane. Love him. So fantastic. Dan says, Gil is another guy that didn't get the love. I don't agree with that. I think he got enough love. I mean, if you're going to compare it to Kirby, nobody got as much love as Kirby from that era, right? The Silver Age. But if you're just talking in general terms, I think most people would agree that most people consider Gil like one of the Silver Age legends, and certainly got more than enough credit.
Yeah, although I feel like he gets more credit for his DC work than his Marvel work. I know he did a lot of work for Marvel, but I feel like his Green Lantern and some of the other stuff that he did for DC to get recognition.
But the thing about it is that when you're it's almost like automatic that you will get recognition for something like, hey, Silver Age Green Lantern. It started off sort of the new wave of DC characters, and he happened to be the guy drawing it. You're always going to be associated more with stuff like that, So I kind of understand that. But then again, at the same time, come on, think about it. Everybody also knows, like, in fact, I would say I would gather to posit that more fans would say that when they hear the name Gil Kane, that they think of 1970s, the Bronze Age, Marvel cover art more than they think about his DC work. That's what I believe. But I don't know. You guys in the chat, man, let us know. Let us know what you guys think of when you think about Gil Kane. What's the first thing that comes to mind? I would think that's what I think. I've been like, just my God, he did hundreds of covers throughout this 1970s.
Maybe because he didn't have necessarily a run on any particular comic as such. He seemed to be doing 2 or 3 issues of Cap in a row, then he would do 2 or 3 issues of Marvel Team Up or whatever, but he didn't have like an established 20, 30, however many issue run to really associate him with one character. I feel
I agree that and that always hurts artists. Silver Age or modern contemporary age. We talk on my shows quite a bit about Tom Rainey, and a lot of us really love Tom Rainey's work, and he never quite made it as a guy who all the fans are going after. That's, in my opinion, that's the reason. He's one of those guys who just never landed on a specific title, who did a long enough run to be associated with that people can always think of when they think of that guy's name,
Yeah.
And that happens to a lot of artists, unfortunately, But yeah, I agree that about Gil, that's kind of part of the issue, Dan, see, that's not a good point you're making, Dan. I get it. If you're talking about back in the 80s or 90s, of course, like I said earlier in the show, at that point, by the time Byrne and George Perez were like the number 1 and number 2 guys in the hobby, at any con or any comic shop, nobody was talking about pretty much any of the Silver Age guys. And by the way, including Kirby. Like by the 1980s, trust me, nobody was at a comic shop going, oh man, yeah, this Byrne Alpha Flight or this Byrne Fantastic Four is awesome. And George's Teen Titans is awesome too. And man, I just wish Kirby was back doing the Fantastic Four. No, nobody wanted Kirby. Nobody wanted to see his shit. And I don't mean shit as in bad, but shit as in stuff. Nobody wanted any of those Silver Age guys by the 80s. By the time that the Burns and Perez of the industry came into being, that was it for the Silver Age guys, including the best of the best Kirby. Nobody wanted to see them anymore. Their styles all were too antiquated by that point in time, And it's only by the later 90s into the 2000s when those of us who became like comic art collectors and we began sort of building a bigger respect for those guys that, the word got out more. And, as people began to realize, well, I can't afford Kirby Silver Age art. So what's left to me? Even the Bronze Age stuff is too expensive. Okay, maybe I'll buy some of his 80s work or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was a different time. I'm saying, Dan, right now, in terms of like when people think back, Gil is considered a legend.
And I think we're seeing this in the chat. Everybody's saying what Gilkin makes them think of, and everybody seems to be coming up with something totally different. Some people are thinking Spider-Man. Some people are thinking Marvel team-up. Some people are thinking Captain Marvel. It's not like anybody associates Gil with just one thing, which is, to our point, something that I think hurts him because it's not something that he just did for a long run of something.
Right. Yeah. Tom and Rich are both saying that they're thinking about the Spidey issues. I mean, I think about those, but they're not the first thing I think about, you know. Ian says, I think of Spider-Man and Marvel team up, interesting, but also Showcase 22 and Power of the Atom. Wow, of all things. I think it's pretty even if you were an equal Big Two reader. Yeah. Because he did a lot of stuff, right? Gil Kane Captain Marvel run. Wow. What if 3 is my all-time favorite Gil Kane book? Oh, with the Klaus inks. Oh my God, Carl, that's fantastic. Yeah. Oh gosh. Just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Yeah, very memorable issue. Gil also did some of the early Marvel team-up interiors, but I didn't think those were as good, including issue 13 with Cap, but he didn't do a long straight run. No, that's right, on the book. I hear you. Yeah, that's all I was trying to say, Dan. That's, you know, it depends what eras we were talking about. Things change over time, right? The way we perceive artists and the way people perceive artists and what they think about their work changes over time as well. So it just depends when we're talking about. And then the answer can be different, obviously, you know. Mark is saying Kane covers with $30 back then. Yeah, the good old days, I guess. But again, all in perspective, $30 for most of us at what age we were back then might as well be $1 million for what we could have afforded, you know. So you think Tariq, that's the first thing you think of? Wow. Okay. Gil drew some classic Defenders covers in the 70s among his many. Well, he drew a lot of stuff. Marvel and DC. He's a legend, man. He so much stuff. So yeah, love it. Okay, let us move on, everyone. That's great. I'm glad that showing that cover sparked a nice little segue into Gil Kane's career and our love for Gil Kane. From there, we're going to jump back into the modern, very contemporary era. And I just absolutely adore this piece. And again, one of the very rare times where even in color, I like it. Not my favorite. I still prefer the
question for you. Is there a method to your madness when you pick up pieces for these shows? Because you do seem to go a lot of back and forth between eras and artists. Yeah. And I wonder if you just kind of browse through and as you see pieces that you like, you add them, or if there's some sort of method.
As I see them, right? I see it as I like it. I'll be going through it. So as I pick one, ooh, it catches my eye. Okay, save. Ooh, save, right? So I save a bunch, and then as they're all saved, I go looking for the color scans, put the color scans into the folder. Then I start making the slides, right? The side by side with the information. And when I have all the slides done, then I spend a few hours trying to determine what order I'm going to show them in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there is a kind of a method to the madness, but it's not always the same method. But okay. I do like, but I think I could say that one of the main things I like to do is I try to kind of keep everybody on their toes by surprising and trying to not let them know what's coming next or whatever, you know what I mean? So I would rather, like, if I'm going to have some Silver Age stuff, some Bronze Age stuff, some contemporary stuff, I would rather mix it up, go back and forth in different eras, rather than, let's say, oh, let me show 4 consecutive Silver Age pieces. Then let me do 4 consecutive Bronze Age pieces. And, yeah. So I don't know. Would you prefer more like that or the way I do it?
Since it's my collection and I don't know what you picked, it's kind of keeping me on my toes and surprised because I cannot predict in which direction you're going.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be Marvel, DC, cover, interior, what the heck it's going to be. So I don't mind it. I just was curious.
Okay. Fair enough. Jeff Wedding's back from dinner. What's up, buddy? Okay, so yes, as I said, so this next one, love the color as well as the original art, but of course, I will always love the original art more, but really fantastic looking contemporary piece. Check this one out, man. And yeah, tell us a little bit about this. I'm sure you were probably excited to get this one as a modern piece.
Yes. I wasn't very familiar at all with Miko's work until I started seeing that Jiggy was doing shows with on Bill's channel and introducing some of the artists in his group of artists, and I saw this cover in there, and I love that. I don't mind the coloring, like you said, but the way Miko does his art and all the fading and all the details and the shading, it just really stands out on its own as well. And I love all three figures in here. I love the way he drew the Submariner in there, but of course Cap and Bucky behind it. And I picked it up and I definitely love it. And I would like to see Miko doing more work. So hopefully Marvel and DC will both pick him up and ask him to do more stuff.
Yeah. No, I've always been a fan since he broke in. The same, just like earlier when we had Carlo Pagulayan. I always tend to take a closer look at the Filipino artists, just because I was always a fan of the Filipino artists that broke in the 70s. You know, I've always been amazed by the absolute talent that country produces in comic book artists. And so yeah, to see always other guys coming from there in the current era, especially when they're great like this, it's just phenomenal. And Miko has so many different styles that he works in as well. Yeah, I was blown away by this. And Carl, good night, my friend. Aloha to you as well. Mahalo. See you next week, hopefully. But yeah, just love his work. And when I saw this, I was like, okay, yeah, there's no way I'm not showing that, you know? Yeah. So, and I'm sorry, but did you say you only kind of heard about it when they started doing the shows with Jiggy and stuff? But did you mention, did you pick it up through one of those?
I picked it up through Jiggy.
Okay. Yeah. Privately, like?
I don't think this was at one of the shows. It might have been, but I know for sure I messaged back and forth with Jiggy about Captain America, and he's been telling me whenever there's covers from his artists that meet my interests, and I picked this one up. It might have been in one of his shows, but I think his shows usually end up showing more sketches and non-published work. So I think I picked it out outside of one of the shows.
Oh, excellent. Okay. What's up, Steve? Good to see you, man. No worries. Never apologize. You got to go to a wedding. You got to have to go to a wedding, man. That's cool. And one of your daughter's childhood friends, that's always nice. When your kids are still friends with their friends from childhood, and they keep those friendships. I love that. There's nothing better than long-term friendships. So very awesome. Glad to see you here. And so Maki is asking, is it pen and ink?
Technically, I think it is pen and ink. I don't know what technique he uses for his wash work or whatever, but it's not pencil.
Yeah. There you go. HTVB, awesome wash work. Yeah, absolutely phenomenal. Yeah. So really, really exciting. Really love that. Okay, great. Just FYI, everybody, because we did hit the 3-hour mark just a few minutes ago. So just so you know, we are closing out just a few more pieces, less than a handful to go. And then we will be able to let Alberto's fiance finally get some time with him again. So here
She's
we go.
still watching like a trooper, which I really...
Wow, really?
I didn't think she was gonna last through all 3 hours. I'm sure she's being on and off, but wow, she's still watching.
Still, hi. Excellent. Thank you for supporting your man. That's awesome. And by the way, before I show the next piece, just real quick, what does she think about all of this? Your this whole hobby, the comics,
I think she respects it. She likes that I have a hobby and something that I'm passionate about. I don't think she loves Captain America or necessarily shares the love, but she appreciates it. And I think she is committed or says she's willing to attend OAX for one day next year out of the 2 days. So she might attend for day 2 of OAX and just see what the heck it is that I do for 2 days at those things.
Yeah, I mean, listen, a convention is a bit of a different experience, I mean, look, I used to take Vivian to some of the conventions, but when I was a regular convention goer, 20 years ago, and she's not into comics at all, like at all. But, she still enjoyed, walking around the convention halls with me and stuff, and, of course, it made it better that we would go out to restaurants and, go get some nice meals and whatever, let's go see the city a little bit. So yeah, I think she'd be okay to check it out, especially if you're only taking her to a show that's only maybe a day or 2, let's say,
And she knows we're going to Disney World and other stuff after we wrap up the show anyway.
There you go. That's it. She has something else just in case to make up for it if anything goes wrong. Okay. I don't know what you're saying. Wow, that's awesome too, Ian. Are you behind?
Awesome. Everything that we say is awesome.
That's true. That is true. Everything that we say is definitely awesome. But I think you got to refresh your browser, Ian. I think you might have been looking at the cover, and I think you're okay. Actually, I don't know why I'm telling you, because if you are behind in your stream, you're not hearing me say this right now. Okay, so never mind. Let's just move on to the next piece. Everybody, just as a reminder, only a couple of pieces left, or whatever. 4 pieces left. He's saying, wow, that's awesome that she is going to OAX. That's what he meant. Okay, so that's cool. Nice dates. She's a keeper, Alberto. My wife calls me a compulsive addict when it comes to comics and art. Well, that doesn't mean she's not a keeper, though. I mean, if all she does is call you a compulsive addict, I mean, that's a keeper. I mean, she's not telling you to get rid of it like some wives do, right?
Yeah, I'm sure she thinks something similar about me, but
exactly. But she accepts you for who you are. That's the important thing. All right, everybody. Next piece on the docket is this one, which, Alberto spoiled it for me by already showing it, but it's okay because you got to see it live. Let's see the scan of it. A lot of fun. Captain America 121.
2 Gene Colan pieces.
Yeah. I don't mind doubling up sometime if I really love it. I don't care about that. To me, if I love it, I don't care, So yeah. And I thought this one is one of those covers where it's like at least back in the day, okay, people would be like, oh, well, the villain is like more like prominent than the hero. So, but like, to me, it's just powerful. It's the scene itself. It's just, there's so much power inherent in it. And who cares? Cap is what, a foot behind him? Who gives a crap? You can still see his whole body. It's awesome. Yeah. So yeah, tell us a little bit about this one, man.
Yeah, you can see his body thanks to the way Gene Colan draws his anatomy as well. They're all contortionist. So he manages to fit Cap in there in a position that maybe doesn't fully make sense, but I think it's great. And I picked this up in, I believe it was Heritage, and I believe it was a cover that I thought went for a really good price. So I ended up picking it up because I think it had been one of those pieces that had been switching from dealer to dealer and nobody was picking up and everybody was tired of seeing it. Yeah.
This one? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Yeah, it was one of those that on the day of the auction, it didn't get that much action. It just kind of went through, got a couple bids, and it closed. And I know it had been going. Yeah, I had been through at least 3 or 4 dealers in the previous year and a half, but no one had bought it, a collector. So I was happy to save it from that cycle and put it on my wall.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, because I always say every piece of art out there ultimately will end up with its rightful owner, you know. And like you know, CJ's making a joke here. We always laugh about, I don't know if you're familiar with this inside joke about, he's saying, oh, but Ruben, Cap's getting hit, you know, because back when I was like a full-time dealer, you know, okay, this is the exact kind of cover where people would bitch and complain to me, and it's probably the same reason why you just said you saw it going from one dealer to another or whatever, because people would be like, oh, but the villain is prominent, he's more prominent than the hero, you know. And it's just like, why can't you appreciate what's happening here, the overall composition, the artwork, you know, the action inherent in it? Okay, so he's a little bit closer than Cap is to the camera. Like, whatever, who cares? You know, but that's why back in the day, stuff like this would bounce around, because you had a hard time selling it, and so you trade it to somebody, and then that person would have a hard time selling it, so they trade it to somebody, and that's what would happen, you know.
Yeah, technically he's not getting hit, CJ. Anyway, he's awesome at avoid it. Yeah.
He's evading the blow there. Yeah, exactly. You know.
But yeah, and I love the little detail of the nun there with the kids in the back too. There's all these little touches, and the way the wall is kind of broken down a little bit, and you can see the bricks behind the paint or whatever, wallpaper or whatever it is. It's another one of those slanted points of view that we're talking about with the Tim Cell piece. Not as dramatic, but right. I like the cover.
No, it's great. I'm happy. Happy. I always love it. I always love it when covers that do sort of, you know, you see them bounce around like that. It's kind of like, especially when you think like, hey, that's a pretty good cover. Like, why is it, you know, why does nobody want it? And I love it when it finally ends up with somebody who really appreciates it. It's like, wow, okay, finally, please let it stay there for a while, you know? Yeah. Plus, you get the first appearance of Sister Mary Margaret. So I'm sure all the first appearance fanatics will now be coming after you to buy it from you. But yeah, no, that's a great piece, and Colan Sinnott, so I love it. Okay, so the next piece, we go from the Silver Age, or sorry, I guess early Bronze Age, or no, that was Silver Age, right? Let me see. Yeah, 69, late Silver Age. We jump ahead to the very, very contemporary age, to another one of my favorites we've seen tonight. He's worth seeing twice. Check it out. Marvel Superheroes by Fred Hembeck, 2023. That's awesome. I love that, man.
Yeah, again, this was not published, but it was one of the pieces that he brought to his show, and I loved how he captured all the main Marvel characters. He kind of represented a little bit of all the teams, maybe not necessarily all the characters from every team, but you can see representation from the X-Men, you have the Avengers, you have the Defenders, you have a little bit of everything in there. I think the Fantastic Four are the only team that is fully represented. Everybody else, I think, it just has some characters in it, but I just love, everything about this piece. And
what's not to love? I mean, that's fantastic. I mean, if you love Hembeck, to have, like, you know, some of the most popular, you know, most of the most popular Marvel characters of all time together, I mean, that's awesome. What else could you want, you know?
Yeah, and I know we have some big fans of Hembeck here in the chat as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Mr. Wedding and Mr. Derek are both in here. And Margaret, too, although she wouldn't touch a Marvel piece anyway. But
ooh, them's fighting words. Margaret, are you just going to sit there and take that? Come on. The Canadian...
she'll stand by her love of DC and yeah, I think she's pretty firm about that.
Canadians don't just sit there and take it. Come on. Nah, but I can appreciate it. That's so funny. I did want to go back to Dan. I posted it, but not long enough. I figured I wanted to wait till you finished talking. Dan wanted to let you know that it's just great to see a collector with a specific interest and a collection that reflects it. Great stuff. Yeah. So.
Although I'm glad that Ruben has picked up some that are not all cap based, because it would have been a pretty boring show with 20 cap pieces.
Yeah,
a little bit of other stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I felt. You know, I figure it's better. You know, a little more variety makes it more interesting. Having said that, I'm not opposed to at some point doing a solitary single character focused show. Actually, didn't they do one time? I thought I did one time. But anyways, listen, if I end up doing a show and tell episode with Rick Verbanis, it will be boring. If you think boring, a single character is boring, because all he's gonna have is cap art, I believe.
You know, he picked up some George Perez Titans lately and some Maguire Justice League. He's
okay, good.
Opened up his collecting.
Okay, good. All right, a couple more pieces, everyone. Just two more, and just so you know, so you don't leave. The next one is Alberto's last piece of his show and tell. The one after that belongs to me, but when you see it, you'll see why I added one of my pieces. You'll see immediately. Well, yeah, you'll see anyways. You'll see why I'm ending it with a piece from me. But this is technically the last piece from Alberto's collection. And for that, I'm going back to The Well again, to one of my all-time favorites. I'm sorry if you guys, for any few of you who don't care for him, too bad, because he's awesome. And it's a great cover. I actually, believe it or not, again, it's all a question of taste. I get it. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. This one I like much better even than the previous one we showed. But you guys can all feel free to chip in with your own opinions. But let's check this out. Captain America number 277 cover by Mike Zeck and John Beatty. I just artistically, the other one, it grabs you because it's got a full figure cap and it's got Spidey as a guest star, Nick Fury, whatever. But for me, aesthetically speaking, this is far, far better than the other one. The lighting techniques, how he spotted the blacks for the lighting techniques, I think is just phenomenal. And the fact that it is dramatic with two famous villains, I just think this is just a fantastic cover. But yeah, that's, whatever. My opinion. You go ahead, Alberto, and tell us about this.
And it has Zipatone, which you have to always appreciate covers that have.
We all love Zipatone. Yeah, exactly.
No, but I love this cover again. Yes, Captain America is tied up and he's in trouble and all that stuff, but he's featured pretty prominently in the foreground of the cover. So you can see the way Zeck renders him. You can see the tentacles in there, and that cover kind of draws you. If you saw this in the newsstand, you're like, the villains are back there, but what the heck is this other thing that's reaching out for Cap? And then to me, this was my favorite rendition and uniform of Zemo. Personally, I felt like in the Silver Age or in earlier incarnations, his mask was a little bit too big, it felt like, and it kind of looked a little more goofy. I liked it when it was tighter and kind of felt more scary in a way. And of course, and another detail in the stairs and the walls and all of that stuff. I just thought it was an incredible cover. Again, I picked this one up from Heritage, I believe, as well, and cool. I'm really happy. And now that I think about it, all my Zeck covers seem to have Captain America bound by something. I have the Dr. Octopus one where he's holding him with the tentacles. I have this one where he's chained up, and in the other one that you showed earlier, he was also kind of bound by one of the villains. So he always seems to be in trouble. But
Yeah.
yeah, I love it. And yeah, again, one of my favorite runs for sure on Captain America was the Zeck run.
Yeah. Oh, it's fantastic. For me, it's an all-time classic run, certainly artistically, Yeah. So, and like, yeah, I love this. I love this cover. Like I said, I prefer this one to the other one. Yeah, it's just amazing, and you really, it's for me. It's again, when I know collectors who are very specific into what they collect, right? Like they zone in on something. I love seeing pieces that I love that are related to what they collect in that person's collection. And I should say the reason I say that because not everybody feels that way. There are people who feel like screw that guy, like fuck him. He always has the best stuff because that's all he collects, or that's what he's always going after. He always gets the best stuff, right? It's like this crazy jealousy thing or whatever. Yeah, and so for me, I'm like, I don't look at it that way. I'm just like, I don't know, man. If somebody's that dedicated to collect a specific character or artist or whatever, to me, I feel like it's nice. It's nice to see the greatest pieces in that person's collection.
I like to think that it's great to see the best Captain America pieces in my collection. I'm happy with that. It does come with a little bit of a not responsibility, but I do feel like it's good that people reach out to me when they want to sell Captain America, but they also see all the pieces that I have, and I feel like sometimes people think that you're gonna pay a lot more money than somebody else would for a piece because I collect Captain America, where it's funny. I think as many times it's the opposite. It's like, I have all these pieces. I know what these pieces are worth. Don't tell me that you want to give me a piece, sell me a piece at twice market value. Maybe somebody who doesn't have a piece would be willing to pay for it, but
right. Yeah. I get that on a much smaller scale. I really have my own sort of experience with that because, as you know, I do not focus on a character. I focus on a couple of artists, but primarily Tom Grummett. And it's funny because Tom's art was always very, very like dirt cheap for decades. Finally over the last I would say 8 years, it finally began to go up or whatever. And it's still, compared to most artists, it's still in what people would say affordable ranges. But it's crazy to think that for somebody like that, who again was never like a hot artist or whatever, right? Wasn't a big time sought after artist, even though he was really good. I've had people who reach out and they're like, "Hey, yeah, so you collect? You still looking for Tom Grummett art?" And I'm like, depends what it is, yeah. And they'll show me some completely random page from a random book that he might have done a few issues from in the, like, I don't know, the early 2000s, let's say. And I'll be like, how much you asking for that? And they'll, like, to me, I'm looking at it and I'm like, yeah, that's like a $75 page, right? And they'll be like, oh, I was thinking 300.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? What are you talking about? So you see my gallery, you see that I have a bunch of this guy's art, so you think I must be a moron and I buy and pay whatever price anybody asks me for it? Like, so I know what you mean. Like, people are just they're quick to try to take advantage of people that focus, the focus collectors, right? They just somehow think that, oh yeah, you're just gonna spend whatever anybody asks, and you'll buy it all. Yeah, so it's kind of annoying, I must say, Nick says Alberto gets profiled. Exactly. That's basically what it is, Alberto, a desire for a Steranko cap, or do you have one? CJ asks.
Yeah, I mentioned that I have.
Okay, I have one.
I don't know if I can throw it around, but I have one.
Yes,
right
I
there.
remember. Yeah, yeah.
So I have one, but I don't have a published Steranko piece, and I don't think I would want to pay the prices that a Steranko piece would gather.
There you go. Yeah, Marvel fan. You number one Marvel fan understands as well. Same thing with the. Oops, sorry. You know, when he's collecting props as well, and it would happen. The same thing would happen to him with props. Yeah, that's whatever. It comes with the territory, I guess. You know. Marcus says, I asked Ruben for art pricing advice and got nothing. What? He's lying, first of all. And if you're not lying, you better specifically ask me or tell me what you're referring to, because I don't remember what you're talking about. So I'm assuming it's a big lie.
You can never take Marcus seriously anyway.
For sure. Nick is Alberto's main profiler. That's true. Not many pages he did. Sorry, CJ, not sure what you're referring to there.
Probably, yeah.
The what?
I think he probably means how many Steranko pieces.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. That would make sense, yeah. Lee says, I remember when you got that on Dueling Dealers.
Yes, I got this piece from Anthony. I think he meets regularly and gets pieces from the Steranko family. I don't know who he gets it from, but yeah, he gets every once in a while a set of pieces, and he had one of these that he says he picked up from them, and I picked it up.
Okay. Thank you. Drew Dragons is asking, Alberto, are you also on AFOL? What's that? Saw the space set when you panned the camera.
Oh, Lego fans. Yes, I do have a Lego. Well, I'm guessing that's what he means. I just did a search for AFOL, and it's adult fan of Lego.
Oh, okay.
Is what came up. So yes, if he means Legos, yes.
So is Marcus. Did you know that Marcus is a big Lego guy too?
And I do have, if we pan out, all the Marvel helmet collection out there of Legos and other pieces around. But yes.
Okay. All right. Now I just want to quickly because he's such a ball buster. Let me go back to it. Marcus said he asked me. Hold on. He asked me, where is that friggin' comment?
And ask you something about Infinite Crisis art.
He said, I asked Ruben for art pricing advice. Got nothing. Okay. And then I didn't know what he was talking about. He says, I sent scans. And then he clarifies Infinite Crisis. Okay, now I know what he's talking about. Just to clarify, everyone, it's not like he's making it sound like he sent me some scans and asked me about pricing. And like he making it sound like I ignored him and blew him off or whatever, ghosted him or something. No, we chatted about it, but I explicitly told him, he asked me, would you be interested in this? And I said, yeah, I wouldn't mind having these pages. I said, yeah. I said, but the problem is we don't see these pages often for whatever reason. I don't know what reason. And so I have no idea what the hell they would be worth. So I wouldn't know what to pay for them. Like I don't want to overpay, but I also don't want to undercut, so I want to pay a fair price, whatever. That's it. So that's all that happened. So I don't know, he's trying to make it sound like I'm the bad guy, but no. And by the way, just so everybody know, he asked me right after I admitted that I was the underbidder on the Infinite Crisis splash page that sold at auction for just over $4,000. You might want to say maybe he wanted to take advantage of that big price sale, Yeah, man, some things are just hard. When you don't have comps, I'm looking over to the side here because there's a friggin' spider rushing across my wall. When you don't have comps, it's so hard you can't. It's really impossible when there's been no comps for like a few years, or you have one comp and it's a splash page. Well, you can't really use. How do you use the splash page? You can vaguely maybe use a comp of a splash page and then say, okay, but how what's the ratio like these days? Because over time, over the decades, the ratio of how many splash pages typically you get for a cover, or how many panel pages you get for a cover, or how many panel pages to a splash page, the ratio seems to have changed, and it's gotten shorter, over time. But yeah, it's I don't know, unless you figure out the ratio, it's hard. So anyways, still interested, Marcus, if we could come up to finding out what the hell they're worth. Yeah, but there you go. Okay, so let me now, everybody, before you go now, I know you're hanging on to see what I was talking about earlier. Now, one piece to show you. So that Zeck cap cover was killer and awesome, and so that's the last piece we're going to show tonight from Alberto's collection. But I'm going to show you this one next piece, and it fits. It's very fitting tonight for more than one reason. The first reason is because, yes, it is a Captain America piece I'm going to show you. I own it. And also, the reason I'm showing it is because, and I'm going to see if Alberto kind of tries to figure out what the hell I'm talking about here. But it's also because I'm showing it because there is a connection, a very direct connection between this piece, Alberto, and myself. You're still lost, Alberto?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing I will say though is I thought you were going to pick up just giving that you rep Mike Perkins, my one Mike Perkins piece, and you didn't. So
this is the thing, is that usually I try to avoid picking the Perkins pieces just so people don't say, well, of course you're going to show that one, right? But sometimes I do. So there are some show and tells where I picked it out, but not because, I want to, whatever, I'm going to show, his work, because it just happens to be a really nice piece and I want to show it, that's it. But every now and then I'm like, nah, especially with a collection like yours, you've got way more cap art. Even now, after doing this, I could easily have taken another 20 cap pieces and still would rather show those than sticking in Mike Perkins's piece, yeah, don't want anybody like shitting on me for that. So, and before I show it, everyone, let me ask Alberto this one question. So, back in the day when Epting and Mike were on Captain America, you bought a lot of the artwork. You were okay. I don't know about how much Epting, but I know from Mike, you were buying quite like every issue you would buy a page or two or three.
Yeah, I was competing back in the day with Nick Catratis, who was hogging all the
Epting stuff
art during that period. So whenever something showed up from that run, I had to jump at it if I wanted a chance before he made it disappear into his war chest. So yes.
Okay. But I'm curious, since you're still a cap collector after all these years, why did you ultimately end up getting rid of all the Perkins pages that you had from the Brubaker run?
This was my one period where it was a time where we moved from Boston after business school to California, and we were going to have my son, and it was more of the one time that I have gotten rid of some art that I now really regret. I had a couple of Rick Levins covers that back in the day were worth like $400 or $500, and now they cost a lot more, and I don't think I'm ever going to be able to recoup some of those sales that I did back then. But it was just about a 1 year period where I let a lot of those go, and they ended up going to one or two dealers that I won't mention, and I feel like I got shortchanged, but I got enough money compared to what I had bought them for, that it was worth selling. I know I had one big double page spread of Cap with half in uniform jumping over the bad guy. Yeah. That I think has now ended up in another collector that I know. There's a few pieces out there, that I had to let go.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so here we go, everybody. Let us cue this piece up. It's not like it's content-wise the most exciting piece, but once you look at it for more than a second or two, you should be able to see why I'm showing it and why it has a connection with my esteemed guest and friend here tonight. So let me cue that up. Where is it? Here we go. Okay. Well, I hope that at this size, I hope it shows clearly enough for all of you to see what the reason is. But here you go. Check it out. So it's from the Ed Brubaker run from Mike Perkins. Is one of his story arcs. Captain America number 30 from 2007. The reason I've been talking about this and why I'm showing it is you have to look focused in particular. Well, actually, you know what? Maybe I should see if anybody in the chat kind of notices. Here we go. James is screaming at me to show it. Okay, I don't know. Carl's screaming.
It's not because of his physical shape. Reminds Ruben of my great shape. It's not because of my tonal work, that's for sure.
Okay, so Carl is right, except he missed a digit. It's Agent 572. It's the last on the third panel. Agent 572. Gonzalez Alberto, status non-active.
Yes.
So
spelled with a Z, which is always good when people spell it correctly instead of with an S.
Yes, yes. And there you go. Alberto is named Agent 572. Absolutely. And what do you mean by stupid thumbs? What does that mean? Stupid? Thumbnails? But yeah, so at the time that, as I mentioned earlier, at the time that we were selling the artwork, Alberto was like a pretty regular buyer, buying a page or two or three every month.
Commissions from Mike that I have held on to the commission pieces, and I don't know if you've seen those in my gallery too, but he did a couple of commissions for me too.
Okay. But yeah, but this is the reason. So what happened was I was selling, we were selling the artwork, and then I forget why, but I mentioned to Mike, I don't know, I think I wanted him to maybe, I don't know, do something for you or whatever. I said, so this I said one of the collectors who's been supporting your cap work pretty well. His name's Alberto Gonzalez, and I said, hey, maybe I don't know, you want to do something for him? And I was thinking more along the lines of, I don't know, maybe he'll do a little sketch on back of a page or something like that or whatever, And thankfully, at least Mike still kind of agreed to comply. And this is what he chose to do. He decided to immortalize you permanently on the page as an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. And for the rest of you who cannot read because it is definitely too small, I just want to make it very, very clear that over right next to him on the second panel, that other screen with a very much smaller type, Mike's wife and myself are also agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And so that's why I own it. And interestingly enough, I don't know why I don't know what made him make the decision, but both Alberto and Mike's wife are non-active agents, and he made me an active agent. So I don't know what that says about you and his wife, Alberto, but but I thought, okay, this is pretty fun. And I will say,
clearly he's active agent at the time, so it makes it really active.
hey, that's a good one, man. Maybe that's it. But I will say, and I don't know if you remember this, I will say also to finish off the story that at the time you reached out and asked me, hey, can I get that page? And I told you, look, I know how much you would love, I knew you would want to get this one. If it wasn't for the fact that he had also immortalized me and his wife next to each other or, above each other on the other panel, I would let you buy this one. But I said, you're unfortunately going to have to satisfy with, yourself with knowing that your name is in larger print than we are and immortalized inside the comic book, every copy of the comic book forever. And you'll be happy with that. And that's it, So there you go.
Yeah. And I'm in good company. Ultimately, I'm in the same panel as Sharon Carter. Anyway,
Sharon Carter, there you go. Better company than us, that's for sure.
Yeah.
32 is how many confirmed kills Alberto has. Yeah, tripled from 2007.
I thought that's how many pieces of art I owned at the time. So it was 572, and now who knows how many.
And yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks, Jewish Dragons. Awesome, great story. I thought it was kind of a fun thing. Thank you, Tom. Carl, same here. The art agent is the active agent. Well, yeah, thanks, Nick. That's what Alberto's point was, right? I never even thought of that. That's so funny. Never even occurred to me until you said that. It's like, oh, now even more reason I should have been the one to buy it. But yeah, thank you, Tom. Thank you, Rick. Yeah, that's fun. That's really cool.
Jeff, there will be no art mutilating just to make me feel better. I'm sure Ruben will never ever cut.
Yeah, I don't know, Jeff. I mean, you're asking a bit much there. Tonal training that gets the 572 kills. Thank you, Nick. I appreciate it. Oh wow, we almost did get the 60. That's shocking. Wow. Make a monoprint. I guess I could if he really cares about it, but I did, Marcus, just so you know, what you said earlier about you saw me bidding. I should know the value of your panel pages based on the value of what I bid for the splash. But a splash is a splash, though. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that's like, it's a lot more exciting. It's, one impactful image or whatever. Yeah, so I don't know. Like, again, I just don't know the ratio. So I don't know how many panel pages to a splash. So I don't know. And I know you're able to keep it for another 20 years. That's why I don't know. But feel free to come up with a price, pal. I mean, I can always say no or yes or, whatever you think is fair, I'm fair. And we got it. So thank you, Nick. I appreciate that. Thanks for the rallies all the time. And yes, and now that means that Nick is gonna show another page. Give away another page this Friday, and that deserves here. Let's put this back up here. That deserves here for me to explain it one more time for anybody who came in late. You guys always know. You guys always see me post this for Nikki B. Okay. Of course, you should always tune into his show on Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific. But this coming Friday, tune in because he is going to be celebrating a Nikki B birthday blowout to celebrate his birthday. And in celebration of his birthday, he said he's going to be giving away 5 pieces of art for free, randomly to everybody who participates in the live chat. And crazy enough, even though it was intended to be as a joke, earlier in tonight's episode, Alberto had said, rally the likes from 50 to 60, and Nick's going to give him another piece away. And Nick actually agreed to do it, even though it was a joke. And now we've hit the 60, so now he's going to give 6 pieces away on this Friday's show. So please do be sure to attend that. But don't just attend for freebies, like Rich. Like Rich, right? Rich Donnelly, man. Come on, Rich. never shows up to the shows except for when there's freebies to be given away, and then he friggin' wins them all. I'm like, what? Oh man. But
one shout out, and I don't think I've seen Sheldon in the chat today, but Sheldon won one of the giveaways this past Friday, which was the Romita Ruff to one of the Romita Spidey covers that I own, and he actually decided to let it go and have Nick send that to me as a freebie, and Nick is gonna get him another freebie and take care of him. But just a big thank you to let me reunite the cover Ruff with the actual published cover that I have.
And for what cover was that?
It was, I don't remember the number. It's the recent Spidey cover where you have all the good guys and all the bad guys separated by Tombstone in the middle. It's a Romita cover and it has Spidey and Spider-Woman, She-Hulk, and a bunch of characters. Okay. Spider-Man 41, Nick says, yeah.
Okay. Spider-Man 41, I think. Okay. Cool.
It's good to get them reunited. So
yeah, for sure.
Gesture. And if you watch us, thank you.
Yeah, and as I always say, one good turn deserves another. So it's all about helping collectors. Helping collectors should be, that's what makes the hobby great, honestly. It's the people more, I think, more so than just looking for your next piece of art. So that's awesome. Oh, and he corrected it to number 43. So there you go. So yeah, so that's awesome. Always great to reunite, says Ian. It certainly is. Cool gesture, says Rick. So there you go. What else we got? That's a great A-OK, which is act of kindness, I've learned, for those of you who don't know. It certainly is. And Marcus claims that he still loves Nick. And he loves him back. Okay.
It's the love fest on this show.
It always is. On his show, my show, it's always the love fest. But everyone, thank you so much. Not only for tuning in like you always do, but tonight especially again, because we went, longer than the average. So 3 hours, 47 minutes so far. Alberto, thank you, of course, as always, for the past visits that you made into my studio. And again, for tonight, especially knowing that every time if I ask you to come on, I know how much you cringe because it means you're going to have to take a picture of yourself. So I really know how hard that is for you. And so I appreciate that. No, but in all seriousness, I do appreciate you very, very much. You're a good dude. You've always been a good dude. And it's always fun to hang with you and shoot the breeze. And
yeah, I never thought we would get close to the 4-hour mark, to be honest. But here I am. It's almost 9 o'clock my time, which at least I'm on the West Coast, so 9 p.m. doesn't seem as bad as almost midnight for the people in East Coast.
Quite as bad, right? Have a great week, Dwayne. Thank you for dropping in tonight. What's funny about? Hold on. What's so funny about peace, love, and comic art? Great collection. Alberto says, Tom. Keep going. Keep going, says Marcus. Great show, Alberto, Ruben, and the chat. Exactly. Give yourselves the pat on the back and the hands, because really, you guys make the shows on my channel what they are. Really, without you, right? That's what it's all about. It's the live interaction. So it makes it fun. Of course, we all know that's what makes them so long. But if they weren't long, then they wouldn't really be fun, I don't think. Because if they weren't 90 minutes, it's because we wouldn't really be doing any talking. We'd just be showing some art, and okay, that's it. It's gone. I think it would be much more boring. So
yeah, it lasts 4 hours for these shows. Though. I wonder why you can't last through 3.5 hours for those MCU movies. I don't think you have much, because we know that you can.
Yeah, because that's different. Yeah, that's different because conversation is different, right? Like you're talking, but then you're listening, you're talking, you're showing, you're looking, you're doing all kinds of things. But on a movie, you have to keep your concentration for 3 hours, like nonstop, because you miss something that one character says in a given moment, And that's the one thing that one bit of information you're gonna have needed to understand what's happening later. And by missing it, right, you're gonna be, what the hell's happening here? And then they're gonna be like, remember she said this and that or whatever to him before. I'm like, no, I don't remember that, right? That's why you have to always keep too much concentration for movies. That's why. So now you know, okay? Ruben has no excuse, whatever. Lee says, awesome collection, Alberto. So another compliment to you. Jeff, thank you very much, as always. Appreciate you.
Feels like people are ready for bed, or at least to get away from us. So.
They want to. I don't know. Some people are waiting for the movie show to begin. Great show. Thank you, Margaret. Thanks for tuning in, and wow, for hanging out so late. Really appreciate you. Thank you. I will get that email very soon. Okay, I promise. Thank you, Tariq. Really appreciate you again. Thank you for sticking around the whole night. Wow, very excited to see you here for the whole night. Wow. What stuff tonight? Thanks. Have a great week, Carl. Appreciate you, man. Look forward to the next video. As always, we can't show you Mannix because I don't have Mannix. Go to his gallery and see the Mannix. That's what I can tell you. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate you. Have yourself a great week as well. And thank you again, Nick, for rallying the like. Really appreciate it. Steve says, thanks. I enjoyed what I got to see and look forward to rewinding the rewind. I appreciate you for doing that. Thank you. You're gonna see a lot of great stuff, so it's well worth the rewind. Oh, saw that one. Thanks for sharing your wonderful collection, Alberto. Have a nice week, everyone. Thank you, Ian. Really appreciate you. Be good. Have a great week. And Ruben talks all through a movie. I don't. But if I am confused or I'm already lost on something, I will start asking whoever's with me. Like, I will pause because I don't go to the theaters. I watch them at home only. You know, that's it. Because I don't like to be able to not pause and make sure I know what the hell's happening. By the way, just so you all know, not that you asked, I watch all my movies with subtitles. All of them. Because I have such a hard time concentrating for 3 hours. I always put the subtitles, and I'm telling you, ever since I started doing that, movie watching has been a lot better. I've been doing that for years now, but it's a lot better. It's amazing how much I lose, or how much I used to lose by not having subtitles on. It's amazing.
But I feel like when I spend too much time reading the subtitles and not paying attention to the rest of the screen.
Yeah, see, that's a common thing that I've heard from other movie fans. Yeah, for me, I have no problem with it. I can read subtitles like that, like half a second. I can read, 2 lines, and my eye still will go back up to the image that's on the screen and with enough time, so I don't miss anything visually, So I'm good. Good night, Lee. Great video again. Looking forward to the next one. Everybody, don't forget to check out Lee's video. At the top of the show, I posted all the links for Lee, Carl, Karen, and Nikki B. You have to wear pants at the movies. That's true. That might be another reason I don't like to wear pants. Great art, great show. Thank you, Rickster. As always, appreciate you. Look at that, James Eagle. James Eagle was like in and out. Love it. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. It is almost tomorrow. Well, on the East Coast, anyways. Movies with boobs take more concentration. Well, it's hard. They keep you from concentrating. Exactly. No, I appreciate that, Margaret. I appreciate it, but still, I don't like to let them go that long. That's why it's my own personal thing. So, get to you soon. I promise. Might as well go full 4 hours. No. We're gonna close it. Just want to say bye to all of you. Don't want to miss any of you. May or may not. I do have a new Grummet commission. Yeah, that's true. That's true. So that's true. Maybe you can do that one this week. That would be awesome. And by the way, Carl, I was thinking maybe you and me should do like an unboxing together. I don't know. I just thinking about that idea. Maybe we should do like a short unboxing video together where you unbox something and I unbox something. I don't know. Maybe if we both have a Superman piece to do or something. I don't know. Just an idea that came to mind while I was watching your show. I love Rogue's Frisbee skills. Good night again. Good night. Good night, James. Thanks for dropping in all show long. Watch Shogun. I don't know what you mean by that. Shogun? The 1970s Shogun? Is that what you mean? I don't know what you mean by that. Great show with all. Oh, great show with all sub. Oh, okay, I see. Will I provide subtitles for this show? I certainly won't. Does it happen automatically by YouTube? I don't know how that happens, but I'm certainly not going to make any effort to provide subtitles. No. 5 minutes to 4 hours, whatever. Who cares? There was a time when it may have mattered, Tom, but since 4 hours is still very far away from my all-time record length, it doesn't matter to me now. Awesome, Carl. Awesome. We'll talk about it privately, man. That's awesome. I find it hard to concentrate when Ruben talks about DC. DC. No, you don't. You like DC. Well, maybe not as much as Marvel, but. Okay, so again, thank you, everyone. I should say, to remind you, those of you who came in late, I don't know what's happening next week. It may, whenever I have nothing planned the week before, oftentimes it ends up being one of those, hey, Comic Art Hangout episodes with me and somebody else. We're just going to hang out and shoot the shit about whatever comes to mind. So it may be one of those, because at this late stage, it's tough to not only find somebody, but then also have to do all the work involved in creating slides or whatever, and picking the pieces and all that for a show and tell. So we'll see what happens next week. I'll be here no matter what, but can't promise what we're going to be doing. Yes, exactly. Thank you, as Alberto says. Thank you, everybody.
Mark is trying to drag us to hit the 4-hour mark. Don't fall for his trap.
What was the reason behind the name Neon Dragon? I want to make sure we do not hit the 4-hour mark exactly. Marcus wants to hit the 4-hour exactly. Where's Stanley when you need him? Like I said, I just hope he's alive. I hope he's alive and just busy or something. I don't know. It's just kind of sad when somebody who's here regularly for months and months and months suddenly disappears forever. Like, it's weird. So I hope he's okay. Nick will not be jumping in the stream. Okay, rest in peace. Now, come on, Tom. That's not nice. He may actually have died. I mean, you never know, right? So let's just hope he's okay. But again, I have no thumbnail to show you. So we're just going to say bye-bye like this and close out with just Alberto and myself. There you go. There you go. Oh, well, fair warning, show closing. Exactly.
See you all on Friday in Nick's show, and again next Sunday on Ruben's show.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Alberto, thanks again, my friend. I appreciate it. Don't hang up. Stay with me for a sec, okay?
All right. Good night.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Been a long time since a Stanley sighting. There you go. Fair warning. All right, guys. Thank you so much again. And we'll catch you on Nikki B's on Friday. And then I'll see you back here next week for whatever show I do. All right? Stanley is rich with his cup. Bye, Margaret. Bye, James. It's not happening. All right, guys. Peace.
Bye.